Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble. I am the Dude79, and joining me always, my esteemed colleague, Mr. Fanboytone. Mr. Fanboytone, what's going on, dude?
I'm yawning a lot because I'm really tired.
Yeah, will you stop fucking yawning? I'm real.
Very tired. It's been a long, tiring week. I'm doing all right, though. Honestly, I can't complain too much. I would like to, but I'm not going to.
Because nobody gives a shit.
Because nobody gives a shit. But how are you?
I'm great. I'm having a great week. My life is awesome. I love everything.
What a piece of shit.
I'm not tired. I'm not upset about anything. I'm in a great mood. How is everyone doing tonight? How is everybody in the chat doing tonight? Hey, that music you were just listening to, that is by the one and only Ant House Beats, Music Therapy number 2. And I can tell you this right now, drops this Sunday, Valentine's Day.
Oh.
February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Dang.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be popping. I've already heard the whole album. He doesn't know it yet. I hacked it, and I downloaded it for free, and I'm putting it out everywhere for everyone to download for free. Yeah.
Wow. You target CD Projekt Red recently, too, or what's up? What's wrong with that?
And that's what I do. But no, man, this is going to be a bomb album, you guys. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be great, and it drops Sunday, February 14th. Tone's going to flip and pass out after that. He's...
Oh, no, that's the funny thing. It's like, actually, when I start drinking, that actually that turns around a little bit more. Like, I don't really get too much more tired, but
yeah, we're already getting excuses, you guys. He's already tired and I'm sleepy.
I'll definitely be your Valentine, though.
Jeez, Prime's older than you are. Come on, man. He's up. He's not even tired.
Oh, whatever. He's been napping all week.
He has been napping all week with that beautiful grandbaby of his.
Baby.
Congratulations, Prime. That is true, you guys. We have a grandpa, an old grandpa watching this show.
Yeah, he actually fit the label finally.
Yeah, he does, finally.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, it fits the personality. Congrats to him
and
his family. They have very, very little ones now, so that's fucking awesome. First off, giveaway tonight. Do a little bit of a giveaway. Just because we love all of you that show up and hang out. $10 gift card on the platform of your choice, Xbox, PSN, or eShop. $10 gift card, and that begins now. Exclamation point, enter to enter in, and exclamation point, claim to claim it if you win.
That's also your sex cues, isn't it?
That's none of your goddamn business.
That's not true. I've seen it.
That's really none of your business. But... yes, get in there and enter right now. The drawing will happen in about an hour, so make sure you're here in the chat. Prime probably already actually, he already deleted him out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was the first one to put in for it, so I deleted it.
Fuck you, Prime.
You're gonna get shit. We just humor him. Yeah, Prime, you're in it.
Yeah, hey, good. Good luck to you, buddy.
Quick shout out.
Ah, yes, to
Cappadocian.
Mm-hmm.
Cappadocian is a master with his 3D printer, and this little figurine here is the dude. That is Jeffrey Lebowski, and he's sitting on a pillar made of bowling balls and bowling pins.
It's pretty fucking beautiful.
That is fucking awesome. Thank you so much, Cap. I appreciate it, man. I've heard you've been making some wild shit. Tone was talking about it earlier, but this little fella here, the dude abides. He's gonna be our guest of honor tonight. So there you go. Now you're watching a show where the dude is actually here.
Awesome.
I'm just a dude. This is the dude. So big shout out to Cappadocian. Appreciate you, man. That was very, very kind of you, and I can't wait to see what else comes out. I know you were talking. He's got a lot of cool shit that he's making.
He's got some stuff down the pipeline, and like today, the small conversation we had was pretty hype. So
there he is, right there, Mr. Cap, Bob Ross.
right.
He's an artist. But Tone, what are we drinking tonight, man?
Tonight we are drinking Black Ale from Perrin Brewing Company. It's the first time I've actually had this one as well, too. We always try to keep that tradition. It's got a little bit of a hopsy bite. Kind of reminds me of as a porter at first. And sometimes porter and ales kind of blur the lines when it comes to the hops, but it's a smooth. The hopsy isn't too overbearing like an IPA. The ale kind of like leans towards that, but it's I don't even know what it says. Like it doesn't even a lot of these have like some really colorful text. This really doesn't have any color text at all. It just says this beer is counterintuitive, pours dark as night, but drinks like a summer afternoon.
You know what? I can agree with that.
I can agree with that. Now that I read that, I kind of...
It does feel like it's not a heavy drink. It's a very smooth, just very subtle, sitting outside,
Where's my brat?
Yeah, where's my... Yeah, I know what you were holding there, you pervert. Ain't no brat, you sick bastard.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Trying to hit on me already. All right, so yeah, we got the drinks out. What have you been playing? You been playing anything lately?
Just Cyberpunk.
Jesus.
When I can. I even haven't had a lot of time to play much of that. I just haven't had that kind of time.
We get it, Tone. You're tired.
Because I'm tired, actually. Last night I was going to play a game, and I was tired last night. I'm like, I'll just watch some Trailer Park Boys and pass out. So it's kind of what I did. But we did, and we'll talk about it later, but dabbled a little bit in that Destruction AllStars.
Yes, we did.
That was definitely a little good time. So we'll get into that a little bit deeper. But honestly, that's really about it. I don't have a lot of time right now for gaming like that just this week.
Okay, yep.
The end.
More excuses. I played a little bit of that. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. We played with Tricky Region, played with Piccolo 930 the other night.
We got the old Predator crew
we
back
got the
together.
Predator crew
Quarantine
together for
Predator
that.
crew.
And it was shenanigans for sure. I tried to play Project Winter, and I tried to play Disjunction, but I was fucking drunk.
You were.
I was really drunk. I was like, you know what? I can't fucking play this stuff right now. There's absolutely no way I can play these games. They require too much focus, too much thought.
Yeah.
I mean, Project Winter is like, it is very much like Among Us, but there's survival elements, there's crafting elements. It is a much deeper game than I was kind of like ready to jump into.
Might be a dive.
It's definitely a dive. There's a lot to take in with Project Winter, so I'll be really curious to really maybe find a night where we can all get into that and really kind of experience it. But definitely after like 7 or 8 beers, not a good game to get into at all. Not a good move. I want to play Valheim.
That is getting crazy reviews. I've watched Mystic Mike.
What is Valheim?
Valheim, basically, I call it Ark without dinosaurs and different graphics.
So better. Okay.
Yeah. So I've actually been watching Mystic Mike play that this week over on Facebook Gaming. I got to say, I like the art design, and I like these kind of games. It was very intriguing.
Uh-huh.
I was definitely curious about it, but I just don't really play on PC very often, and don't think I'd have the time to learn it. But you like those kind of like resource building, gathering, that grind.
See, I'm really
nothing.
hit or miss on those games.
And I agree.
Really hit or miss.
I do like them, but I am hit or miss on them. But this one has gotten really good reviews. It's in preview mode right now. I think it's $20, but everybody's loving it. Like more and more people, like every day, more and more people are talking about it.
One game I'm really looking forward to is that one that we saw at the PlayStation event, that something of Midgard. Remember, it's like that 8-player open world, like top-down game where you're like you're fighting these like Nordic gods and whatnot. It just looked really, really, really good. And that's like, and I think there were some like crafting and survival elements to that too. But see, when I play something like that, I want the combat, the moment-to-moment combat. I need that to be exhilarating and really fun and engaging. I don't get that from Ark. I just thought Ark was a shitty game when it first came out. I couldn't get into it. I thought the combat sucked. I was like, this is just stupid. I don't mind crafting and survival as long as there's some like genuine excitement, like really taut gameplay that'll kind of like, jog you, get you going a little bit. That's what I need in these types of games. I can't have it be like a messy combat system that just doesn't do anything for me.
Ark is...
Hey,
I know it's much better now, but it's a whole different beast. It's just
trash.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. That's fine. You can have that.
It's trash.
You can have that if you'd like.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to have my cake and I'm going to eat it too, and I'm going to poop it on you.
Whoa,
yes.
Jesus, happy Valentine's Day.
We have a plethora of topics to discuss tonight. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
How do you spell that?
Pleothra.
Is that right?
Isn't
there an O in there somewhere?
Cuddles, that's no one's even gonna believe you. Cuddles. Ark is better than Disney 2. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that at all.
Yeah, there's an A in there.
Plethora. Oh, is there? Oh, fuck. Wow, I was way off.
Did I win the giveaway? Is that what that means?
I heard Drastin clear down here. Not calling dude anything good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Drastin out there when the Ark conversation comes up? He gets really edgy.
Yeah, that's why I mute him. I don't listen to him when it comes to the Ark conversation. But no, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. First thing we got is a movie review, and this came courtesy Cherry Squishy.
That's right.
She was like, "Hey, you guys should watch this Bliss movie. You should watch this Bliss movie on Amazon. This
Prime exclusive.
Yeah, Prime exclusive. It's available now. You can check it on now. I think it dropped on the 5th, so it's been out for a couple days. But this stars Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek, and you and I were like, you know what? We don't have anything to watch right now, so yeah, let's go watch Bliss.
And we don't often get somebody suggesting us.
Right, yeah. That was really cool. I have Chase,
so...
she's like, hey, you guys, watch this. Dude, I'm so excited to hear your thoughts. Can't wait to share them. Let's get into our first topic of the evening. Let's talk about Bliss. Tone?
Yes.
Bliss is an interesting movie. When she recommended the movie, we checked out the trailer and we're like, okay, Owen Wilson serious movie. Not my favorite Owen Wilson in serious movies because I think he's just better suited to comedies. He's that aw shucks, a naive character who's just always at the wrong place at the wrong time and whatnot. He's in my mind, he's always been more of a funny guy. I know he has a lot of drama on his resume, but for my money, I like funny Owen Wilson. That's where I like to see him at. But
sure,
it's cool to see him in a movie like this. You got Salma Hayek in this movie. I love Salma Hayek. Always been a big fan of Salma Hayek. Always been a fan of Salma Hayek.
Be honest.
She's been around for a long time, but you have two experienced actors in this movie. We watched the trailer and immediately a lot of the discussion moved towards, this looks a lot like it got Matrix vibes.
Yeah.
What is reality? She's like, I'm going to show you the real world. This isn't the real world. I'm going to show you the real world and take you here and there. And we're like, oh, okay. Okay, all right. This could be interesting. Could be a different take on like a Matrix style story. And funny, on the 5th as well, there was another movie that dropped on, I think, Netflix, A Glitch in the Matrix, which is another show that it's a documentary that focuses on reality and what is real and what's not.
Yeah. That's a whole other topic I could talk about for a while too.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, I want to, but I'm also afraid to.
Gotcha. Okay. So anyways, this starts off, as you can see, Bill Nye the Science Guy's in this movie.
He
is. He's in the Utopia, the other spot that's supposed to be the real world. But anyways, Owen Wilson plays Greg Whittle. The movie opens, he's like working this thankless job at this customer service like business. You hear all the people on the phones yelling and screaming and whatnot, and he's, you find out right away that, he's kind of got, he's got a rough life going on. He just got divorced. His son wants nothing to do with him. The family is fractured at this time. And it's also pretty clear that he has an addiction to whatever drugs he's on. He has painkillers that he goes to, and he ends up snorting them.
Are they painkillers?
I don't know what they are, man. But, so, he goes through this day. Things happen at work. We won't spoil anything. After he leaves work, he meets Salma Hayek, who is actually very strange. She's acting very peculiar around him. She's like, hey, I know you're real. And she's like, I'm going to show you the real world. And you're like, whoa, okay.
No more. Wow.
Wow.
By the way, you saw that Easter egg of her doing that.
I did. Yes, I did. So, Tone, I want to come to you first and kind of get your thoughts on this movie. And we'll just kind of go back and forth on this.
Well.
And also, before we do it, Squishy, I want to get your thoughts too, so make sure you share your thoughts in the chat. But Tone?
Yes. So the trailer really kind of got me excited because I'm a sci-fi guy. So
yes.
I was really, really anticipating where this movie's going to take me. And I'll be honest with you, like I will say when I watched this movie, now I know everything we've talked about, and the one thing I didn't tell you is that it kept me. I was hooked the entire time because I kept having this anticipation. So I was completely glued to it the entire time. But unfortunately, I feel like the movie is kind of glosses over what it could have been, maybe what it should have been, and kind of what it almost then ends up being just kind of a dud. Like I wasn't, like I said, I was enjoying watching it, but it just seems like you couldn't really tell. And I understand it's kind of what they wanted you to do. Maybe was like be confused what's going on. That's part of the allure because when everything becomes revealed or you hit that climax, you want to have that payoff, and there really wasn't ever any payoff for me. Even in the end, like there was at the end you could say it was kind of a feel good movie, or maybe it was a lesson to be learned, but it really wasn't thought provoking at all. And that was what bummed me out, because I felt like this movie was like, again, one of those movies that was this close maybe to like being thought provoking, and it just kind of fell flat of that. And that was really unfortunate, because there's a part in the movie when they wake up in the real world, and there's this thing that you see, and I was telling you this, I'm like, man, I saw that, I was like, oh shit, let's talk about that, and that was never a focus, nothing of that hardly ever came up. And then when you start watching more and more of the movie and you realize, I saw it like really kind of after that, it really like when they were kind of in between the other worlds, that's when I started going like, okay, so I think I kind of figured out what's going on, and it was pretty clear. I think maybe that I was late to the game on that, and I think it was because I had a lot of over anticipation of where it was hopefully going to end up being and going, and it didn't, and that was really frustrating for me. So I don't think it was a terrible movie necessarily. I
Mhm.
just don't think it was a very like enjoyable movie in the end because of that lack of payoff. And I was actually looking at the reviews and stuff like that of some of it with what Amazon too was that it's reviewing not great. Like, you know, like
Mhm.
well, they got 5-star rating. It's like 2.5.
Yeah,
at
I think
best.
Amazon, the little stars, people were like,
Yeah.
obviously viewers were a little underwhelmed by it.
Yep,
But
yep.
I'm gonna read Cherry's in a moment.
Yeah. Let's.
Tricky said, and I like what Tricky said here. He said, I wasn't sure if this was movie was straight up
Exactly.
or if there was
which
a
is
double
kind of
meaning.
what you had said too.
And I agree with that. And I feel like the message here, and there are multiple meanings here, but none of them is like. I feel like a lot of them are things that you and I already know and people already understand. You and I were looking for that big sci-fi payoff. We were looking for like that big holy shit moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we never got that. And yeah, you could look at it from a perspective like, you got to learn to appreciate what you have in life. And maybe, life isn't always going to go, good the entire time. There's going to be ups and downs and stuff like that. So you can look at it from that perspective. You can look at it the perspective of, was he doing drugs this whole time? I mean, because you look at, they're taking, he's got his life is in the gutters. He's got a divorce. His son wants something to do with him. He hates his job. This is like midlife crisis 101. Like he's having a lot of problems, and then he meets, or maybe he's known her already. Maybe this is just part of that blur between what's going on with him then and then now. He meets her. They start taking these what are they called, crystals or whatever, and that's what takes them out of their shitty world, and that's when they go to the utopia where they see the real world and stuff like that. And I feel like, yeah, the messaging here is like people, doing the drugs to kind of like take away the pain, and there's just all this different stuff going on. And again, when you get to the end, it's just not the payoff that I was really hoping for. The Matrix was a fucking mind-blowing movie. This was not a mind-blowing movie. There was so many, like, there were things that you saw, that you and I both saw, that were just like, okay, that's foreshadowing to something. And it did, but it was really easy it was predictable. You knew what was going on. I mean, there were certain points in the movie where the director does some stuff to have you like questioning reality, like which was cool. Which is cool, but again, now I feel like it's just a cheap trick to take your mind so you're not focusing on the obvious. He's trying to make it unpredictable, but then doesn't give you an explanation for what you saw.
It was basically a very complex Dare VHS tape from 1989.
I mean, everything else about the movie, the production value's really good. I thought the movie looked good, especially when you're going between the gritty world. It had that gritty film grain quality look. It was a dark, twisted world and whatnot. But then the real world, the utopia was beautiful. It was clean. It was, I like what they did in that regard. But there's good performance. Go ahead. What do you got?
I was gonna say, your question is, if he made all up, how do you explain the special powers? They were on meth.
That's the thing. I think the special powers was once they got on those, once they started taking the crystals, it was all in their imagination. I think it was all imagination. Because when we say, and I'm going to go into a little spoiler territory here, and it's just, and I'll try not to ruin it too much for anybody, but and honestly, I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. But Cherry, like when you say about the special powers, the boss that has the accident at the beginning, he shows up later in the movie.
Right.
And so if those special powers were real, if she was able to will him out of the window, how is he still there?
Well, she explains it, but...
Well, she says, yeah, but...
But that's the problem. Whose perspective are we supposed to believe in this?
At that point, you're just like, she's nuts. Or she's an addict. She's just making this shit up as she goes. And that's how I really felt about her character at the end, was like, she's making stuff up as she goes. And then the roller rink scene, I feel like that kind of answers that question, what about their special powers? Because there's a transition from what's going on at the roller rink, how they have these powers, to when the roller rink fun ends and they're getting hauled away in a cop car. I just feel like that's where you kind of see, like, look, they have special powers, but then their shit wears off, and then reality sets back in, and then you find out they were just in there being assholes.
Right, because, like, I think the point is that clearly when they get into, like, Owen Wilson's character, like, getting words mixed up that are similar, what it tells me is that he must be easy to manipulate, because that's what she's done with him. Is that maybe he's just easily confused, and that's easy for him to be manipulated by the things that she's seeing or doing or whatever, or telling him, because like a lot of this stuff is real simple basic stuff. And even when you get to the ending, like, what happens to her? Is there a question? Well, I'm pretty sure, like, at this point you start realizing where everything's actually falling on one side instead of the other, what happens, or what was going on there as well too. So So he says, "Well, so there was a spoon." The question is, what was that?
Were they cooking in it?
yeah.
What were
kinda,
they cooking in this room?
like it again. Like it was a movie that I felt like honestly had a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could have. There was a lot of times in the movie where it could have went this way and turned it more sci-fi or kind of amped it up.
Didn't take any risks,
and it didn't. Yeah, it was just like this. Here's the perspective of true drug addicts. Well, I can watch Train Spotting,
right?
Like, and that's kind of how I felt about it. And like, I wanted to be more because, like I said, from the trailer and from the concept of it and everything, I'm like, especially like I said, when they got into the real world, I'm like, oh shit, movie just kind of hit the gas pedal,
right?
And then it just didn't at
yeah.
all.
It
Bummer.
It stumbled across the finish line. It didn't deliver the payoff, and it was more like you said. I guess there was kind of like a feel good. Some kind of a feel-good ending. You're just like, oh, good. Well, there you go. Great. It's getting better, I guess. I don't know. It was just weird. But like Cherry said, a few minutes ago, so I have a mixture of feelings to this movie. I felt like the movie could have been better, but they didn't delve enough into the balance of each world enough. Also trippy because of what is real. Did he make her up because of his mental illness addiction, or did he just decide to take the blue pill?
Well, that's a good question, too. Was she real? Well, I'm thinking
right.
we don't know, but when she interacts with the prostitutes and they say some stuff back and forth to you, which starts cluing you in, like, she's real, but, like, she's what she projects herself. It's like the Matrix. Your visual loop, I know what it's called, but your visual personification of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what they call it in that movie. It'd be perfect for this. Whatever he sees her as or she sees herself as or vice versa, like, it's clearly not, because when you talk to the people that aren't real, that are actually real, they're like, yo, bro, you look like shit. Like, you know, what's up?
Right.
So.
Pikachu said, was this not a good movie? I mean, I guess this movie is going to be up for interpretation. I think there's a lot of ways that people could view this movie, and some are probably going to like it, some are probably not going to like it. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't care for it. I thought it could have been a lot better. Sherry Squishy, could it be Owen Wilson acting as her interacting with the prostitutes? I mean, that again, Cherry's making my point right there. It's all about interpretation, how you see it, and how you want to take that movie. And I get what Cherry's saying, and I respect her opinion and what she thinks. How she interprets the story is hers, and it's thought provoking stuff. That part is interesting. But at the end of the day, it's just I don't feel like I got enough to explain that, and I don't think there's enough in there to have me thinking outside of what I already came
it's
up
like
with.
the ending of Inception, when you see the totem spinning there and you don't know, it starts to fall off, like you don't know, Inception mind fucked everybody for a decade and still does some people.
Right.
This wasn't like that though, because like there was so much going on in the middle of it that never really kind of panned out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff was almost kind of fluff to a degree. Like, yeah, that's a great, like, if that was how they wanted it to be, and maybe the entire thing's supposed to be interpretation, but just the rest of it was missing so much more substance.
Right. No, I agree. Like I said, I felt like what we saw in the trailer did not translate over to the entire viewing, the whole movie. Like I did not get those vibes.
I was hoodwinked a little bit.
Yeah, there were some moments that were decent, and like you said, at the beginning, I was interested, I was intrigued, but then as the movie started to unfold, it became predictable, and you're just like, okay, I see what's going on.
That's right, Ant House. Legend says that Leonardo DiCaprio's
it's still spinning. It's still spinning, huh? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right on.
Should have just reviewed Surrogates. Well, actually, we're going to mention
That's
Surrogates.
pretty interesting that you do bring that up, though.
We're going to mention Surrogates in a moment. I needed your thoughts. So, and Cherry, and I love talking about this stuff. I love getting those, hey, check this movie out from you guys and girls. I mean, that we're not going to have something to watch every day right now. I mean, that's gonna change once theaters really start to open up and all these big budget movies that have been pushed back a year. We're going to have shit to watch every weekend. But
and then I can put the popcorn right here, and you can have some popcorn.
God, you're just a piece of shit, dude.
Bottom.
Anyways, if you listen closely and raise the volume to Inception, you can hear FOA playing really low as the top spins.
Fucking Blanco,
DOA. I was like, I don't know.
Get him out of here.
Right.
Can we get a timeout of him, Cuddles?
Get him in timeout.
Thank you, by the way, everybody. We're seeing those subs come through.
Yes,
we
thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. Pro Bear, hello.
Support.
You did make it. Welcome.
Appreciate that support.
Welcome. Yes, thank you everybody for those subs tonight. We appreciate everybody being here as always. Thank you so much.
Obviously, I'm not going to say this was an awful movie. It just didn't do anything for me.
It's very diplomatic of you, though.
It's available on Amazon Prime. It's exclusive there. If you have Amazon Prime, go check it out. Mm-hmm. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or wherever, or on Twitter. Share your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of it.
Yeah.
Didn't really do anything for me, though. It was kind of weh.
Okay.
All right.
And that's
awesome.
That. Moving on.
Now we are going to move on. We had a bunch of trailers dropped this week. Obviously, the Super Bowl went on. Tom Brady went out and annihilated the Chiefs, and then he got shit-faced today. The videos of him just getting trashed are hilarious.
Sloshed.
Hey, you know what? When you win 7 Super Bowls and you're married to a supermodel, you get shit-faced. You can do whatever you want. You're Tom Brady.
Tom fucking Brady.
He's the GOAT. So,
well, he's not Ric Flair. Ric Flair has 9 championships.
Ric Flair is
still
the man, the myth. So
that's right.
We have an assortment of trailers we want to check out. The first one we're going to check out, though, was not a part of the Super Bowl stuff, but it's a movie that Josh brought up to me on Monday night when I was streaming. He was like, "Hey, did you check out the trailer for CosmicSin?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." He goes, "It's Bruce Willis." And I was like, "No, I'm not watching that trailer." I immediately dismissed it. I was like, "There's no fucking way." No, I didn't watch it. I'm not watching it. It's just another shit Bruce Willis movie. I'm not watching it.
Sorry, Jay Hill.
And so he sent me the link, and I went and checked it out, and I watched the trailer, and this is interesting. Let's watch this trailer. I want everyone to watch it. Now, look, we have trashed Bruce Willis a lot, and rightfully so.
It's easy.
And we'll talk about that, why that's rightfully so. But let's watch this trailer first, because I watched it and I was like, there were some things that stood out to me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let's check it out. Let's watch this trailer for CosmicSin, starring Bruce Willis and Frank Grillo.
I'm getting a lot of name drops recently with him.
Love the sci-fi.
Good evening, General. Oh, wait. You're just a
Church?
civilian now.
Mr. James Ford.
General Riles
Reminds me of the beginning of Fifth Element.
inimitable
We
counsel.
want to get you back in now.
No. He's offered to reinstate you.
Really?
It's a Bond, by the way, which is pretty cool.
From the top.
4 hours ago, the crew of the Vander made first contact. Frank Grillo.
Stay there.
They believe we're hostile.
In the event of first contact, humanity must strike first to ensure the continued survival of our species.
Operation CosmicSin is now a go.
That there is a space gate.
Space Gate.
They can bring their army here.
They're hitting some check. There's
What's the
some little
status
boxes.
of the
Check them
Q
out.
bomb?
If we want to launch the Q-bomb, we need to get into orbit.
Suits up.
That's something, huh? We didn't know whether to burn it or put it in a museum.
I'm sure they said the same thing about me.
There it is.
There's those lines.
I mean,
If we leave
looks
that door
fucking
open,
gnarly.
they're gonna charge in. We can make this the kill box.
Let's be real.
We're not gonna wait for them to bring the fight to us. We're gonna take it to them.
What we do here,
Looks like
It's
the character
easy.
from The Surge. He's wearing like a mech
the
suit
hard
like
part
that.
is living with it.
What's the rating on this? We know.
I'm assuming it's going to be R. All right. Now, as we talked about a moment ago, hope they didn't show all the best parts.
Right.
Yeah,
Same thing I'm thinking too.
That's always a concern. Now, look, we bash Bruce Willis pretty hard around these parts, rightfully so. Okay, this movie's getting a lot of Halo attention. There's a lot of cool things from this trailer. There's a lot of cool vibes going on here. I love the sci-fi feel to it. There's a lot of, like, when I watch this trailer, it's the same vibes I got from the Fifth Element trailer when that came out. Before that movie came out, I saw the trailer. I was like, oh man, this looks kind of wild for a Bruce Willis flick. You know, because you're typically not used to Bruce Willis doing sci-fi a lot. But here are some of the reasons why I am optimistic, cautiously optimistic about CosmicSin.
Cautiously optimistic.
Okay. Now, first of all, the synopsis for this movie is pretty rad. It's pretty basic. 7 rogue soldiers launch a preemptive strike against a newly discovered alien civilization in the hopes of ending an interstellar war before it even starts.
So they drew first blood.
Generic as fuck. Okay.
That's what's right, exactly.
Generic as fuck. Absolutely. But here's why I'm optimistic. First things first. Bruce Willis although we know him in a lot of action movies, Die Hard, he's been in a lot of duds, Hudson Hawk, and everything he's made since 2014, pretty much. The guy, we know how Bruce Willis is, but he's shown some acting chops in like Sixth Sense, and a couple other movies we're going to talk about here right now. But there's something about Bruce Willis in sci-fi movies. The guy has this niche with sci-fi where he actually does really, really well when he does these full-on sci-fi movies, with the exception of Surrogates. With the exception of Surrogates, Looper was a 93 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was so good.
Looper, a fantastic sci-fi movie. 12 Monkeys, 89, a fantastic sci-fi movie. Fifth Element.
That's too low of a number.
70, but that thing's a cult classic. And I think it's one of those movies that, it's kind of like Blade Runner, where when it first came out, it was just kind of like meh with reviews.
Yeah.
But over time, it's just really picked up.
Bombed. I think it bombed in the
It didn't do very well at the
theaters.
box office even, no. But, and so there, and then Armageddon, take it or leave it. It didn't review very, very well, but it sold a bunch of money. It made a lot of money. I thought it was entertaining, even though it was really, really stupid. But here's the thing. But that's the thing. He does really, really well with sci-fi. So I'm optimistic because of that. This is his kind of that niche genre that he gets into that just people really dig seeing Bruce Willis in. So I'm kind of optimistic because of how well he's done in sci-fi compared to the other movies that he's done. Second of all, this doesn't appear to be one of those movies where he's just in it for a minute at the beginning, a minute in the middle, maybe 2 minutes at the end. That's a lot of even not just that, but like any of the movies that he's been in for like the last 10 years. He'll show up at the beginning, be the catalyst for the story, show up in the middle for some kind of weird, weak twist, and then either shows up at the end to kill the bad guy or get killed himself. So it was just like really, really, really predictable shit. Like, okay, this looks like he is in this movie a lot. Like this is he has a pronounced a presence. He's in this movie a lot. So that's one other reason I'm kind of excited about it. It doesn't look like it's just something that he's phoning in. Now, does that mean his performance could be good, trash like usual? Absolutely. But this doesn't appear to be just one where he's showing up 2 days for the entire shoot and kicking out his scenes. Lastly, I really like the level of the special effects in this movie. This doesn't look half-assed.
It looks epic.
It does. It looks really, really epic. It looks like there's a lot going on. So they didn't spare any costs on production value. It's right up there. I love that heavy sci-fi, that cyberpunk world that they're in, that they're moving around. A lot of, like you said, ticking the box, a lot of the boxes off for stuff that we like from a sci-fi movie. So, like I said, there's a lot here that has me optimistic. But there's always a flip side to that coin.
Oh, gee, and what would that be?
First of all, the director, Edward Drake, spent a lot of time writing movies prior to this, and he has written a lot of the Bruce Willis movies that have been out straight video on demand that are fucking terrible. He is responsible for writing a lot of those movies. So now that you know that he sucks at writing movies, him graduating to directing, I'm a little concerned.
Apprehension.
A little concerned with that. Because, he obviously, a lot of these movies are just really, really stupid. Number two, it's Bruce Willis. He's been a huge douchebag for like the last 10 years, so that's working against me. He doesn't have that same like it factor that he did back in the 80s and 90s. And lastly, this is the one that was really just, very concerning.
Let's make it cringe.
Over since 2014, he's made 19 movies. The average Rotten score for those 19 movies is 16. The highlight being Lego Movie 2, and I think he's a small bit in that movie. I almost didn't include it.
He's like one of the little Legos, you mean?
His average score is 16 across 19 movies since 2014. He has made shit.
Gosh, that makes me uncomfortable.
And so, I mean, that's why I'm definitely a little bit concerned with this movie.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to watch it. It comes out March 12th next month. Video on demand. I think it's in some theaters, probably a limited release.
So, do we know what streaming service yet, though?
I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be exclusive.
It'll be something like you can just rent on Amazon.
You can rent it on Amazon, iTunes, and all that shit.
$20, you have to rent the fucking
thing. You have to rent it for $20, but
Or do you?
Or hopefully you can at least buy it. Hopefully it's not one of those things that you can only rent right away, because then I'm not gonna do it. If I'm gonna buy, if this is gonna be a shit Bruce Willis movie, I want to fucking own the goddamn thing. I don't want to just give my money and never get it back. So I don't know. What do you guys think of the trailer? What did you think of it? I mean, overall.
I mean, You hit a lot of great points. I don't think there's not much that I got to spin on that. I feel the same way. I will say the one thing I do want to say though is you're like, well, he just looks like he's something he's kind of into. He does great in sci-fi. I think I know why he does good in sci-fi.
What is that?
For the most part, outside maybe Fifth Element and maybe a little bit of Looper, because even Looper, he was sharing that with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's carried a lot of that movie. These are roles, and you can even kind of see it in the trailer, in my honest opinion. And even as Corbin Dallas, he plays stoic characters in this. You can tell in the trailer
another
here.
Stoic character.
There's not a lot of fucking range you need for a stoic character that barely talks, grunts, and wipes his ass.
Right.
So like shoot a gun, whoop-de fucking do.
Yippee-ki-yay.
You know.
I feel like that kind of movie is good if you're not a piece of shit. If you don't have a negative, image going about yourself over the last couple of years, I think you can do those kind of movies.
Right.
Whereas right now, you want to see some effort from Bruce Willis. You want him to be funny. You want him to have that smart alecky guy that
He's not that guy anymore.
He's not, and that's why I'm a little concerned about it. But I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, the one thing I'm hyped about most is the fact that he's back in sci-fi. This is his strong suit, with the exception of Surrogates. He's done very, very well with sci-fi movies. So there is a little bit of like, okay, maybe I'll watch it. I will watch this. Maybe it'll be good. Still going to keep my expectations a little bit low, though, just in case.
And JGL definitely is Bay, except in the 1700 movie. But most everybody, I think, it looks like they're positive. Everybody out there, it looks like there's potential here. But I'm moonlighting Bruce. I was going to make that joke earlier too. That's really funny. Was that Sybil Shepherd? Who was in that show too? Prime, you're old,
I never like a movie like this where they don't show the alien. We don't get to see.
Well, weren't the people in the containers kind of like?
They're kind of like twitching. I don't know if
so that's the question. Is it like that kind of alien,
or is it gonna be like the
a
alien from Mac
alien?
and Me that shows up?
I can't whistle very well. Right? Is that the whistle?
Mac and Me alien show. I'm like, geez, oh man, come on.
You were saying you want to get together and watch it this weekend.
No, we're watching something else this weekend.
Not Mac and Me.
No, we're not watching Mac and Me. We're watching Willy's Wonderland.
Come on.
I agree with Tone. Bruce Willis is good sci-fi protagonist because he plays a good everyman. Some of the best sci-fi characters are just regular guys in crazy world, and that's accurate. I mean,
that's why I'm wondering if he's kind of painted in that box now.
Bruce Willis was painted in that box with Die Hard. That was like moonlighting to a degree, but Die Hard was that first time where you saw a regular guy.
He acted in Die Hard,
right? But I mean, it's the same thing. He's a regular guy in a real shitty situation. He's just a regular cop, just there with and I dig that part of it, and that's kind of like what made Bruce Willis that everyman, that every guy that everyone could relate to, because he's just a regular dude in a real shitty situation. So that kind of fits his that's in his wheelhouse. That's what he's been always good at. Smart ass, down to earth, even though outside of movies he's kind of a dickhead, but and a piece of shit. So I really enjoyed him in 16 Blocks. He was good in 16 Blocks. Like I said, he's got range when he has the right material, and like you said, when he has the right people around him, he can be really, really good.
Right.
But for whatever it is, since 2014, it's just been like Prime said. He's just going to get a paycheck and going to the bank and dropping it off.
That's all he's doing.
So whether or not this is going to be good, don't know. I hope it is. Expectations going to be down here though.
But he does get along with Ashton Kutcher better now, right?
Probably. I think he cucks for him a little bit. So. Wow. Can't believe I just said that. All right, now we're going to move on to the Super Bowl commercials that we saw. The first one we're going to talk about, because we talked about recently, M. Night Shyamalan, kind of that he's kind of on that upward slope. He's on that upward trend after making a lot of shitty movies.
Right.
He's had The Visit, he had Split, Glass. Obviously, he's not a hit, but man,
fuck that movie.
I tell you what, Servant season 2 is hot right now.
That's what you keep saying.
It's been really, really good. So, and he's directed the last 2 episodes, I think. So, it's been really, really good. So, I mean, the guy he's on that upward trend, but we found out he's got a new movie coming out this summer, July 23rd, and it's called Old.
And apparently coming only to theaters. Read the fucking text down there.
He says only.
Yeah, we'll fucking
theaters.
see about that, buddy.
See about that. But let's check out this trailer. It's 30 seconds. It was a spot for the Super Bowl.
Me too, Prime.
Are we there yet?
This beach, it's beautiful.
My swimsuit is hurting.
They do look small.
Come on, let's play hide and seek.
Have you seen my children?
Mom, I'm right here.
He was 6 years old this morning.
Oh no.
Mom, I'm scared.
There's something wrong with this beach.
We were chosen for a reason.
What's happening?
I don't know.
I can't think.
Old, only in theaters this summer.
only in theaters this summer.
Oh no, we'll see about that.
Now, obviously, from what we saw here, this is mostly comprised of a lot of foreign stars. There's a lot of foreign actors in there. The one boy, the kid who is now 16 or whatever, he was actually in Hereditary. He was really, really good.
He was the brother.
He was the son. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good actor.
Really,
in there.
really good in that movie. But
Previously on Lost.
No, but it's the basis of the story is a family on a tropical holiday discover that the secluded beach where they are staying is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. So this is going to be, again, when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan movies, they're not straightforward.
There's a twist.
There's always a twist, and it's just unpredictable. You have no idea. Now, whether he sticks the landing, we don't know. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he falls on his face.
He's a 50-50 to me.
He's a 50-50 guy. But, the other thing I like about his trailers is he does not show you shit. You saw it a little bit here, but he is very particular about what he shows in trailers. He does not want you to have a fucking clue what to expect going in. I remember that with the movie Signs. I watched her, and when I went to saw the theater, I was like, this is a little bit different than what I was expecting it to be, because Signs was deep. I love Signs. But they're dead the whole time. There you go, Prime. It's a follow-up to Sixth Sense.
He said time travel.
Time
God,
travel.
what if it is something like that, too?
I know. I mean, and like I said, man, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out, and then you got to dock him points for it. But plot twist, The Last Airbender sucked. You're not wrong about that. But no, I mean, it was a cool trailer. 30 seconds, kind of give you a little glimpse of what's going on.
I was instantly hooked.
Oh, I was hooked, especially at the end when that guy starts getting old, like his arms, like his face. There is probably gonna be some creepy imagery in this movie. Cap says, I feel like this has no middle of the road movie. He has no middle of the road movie. He's just really, really good, really, really good, and that's bad. That's the way it is too. There's never here's the thing: when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan, you never not remember his movies. You either remember him being really, really good, or you remember him being really fucking bad.
And that's funny about it, because we were talking about that earlier, too. Like, even his bad movies, you still don't forget, because I think it was Prime or somebody that said, like, hey, there's a lot of directors that had shit movies, but you forget about them.
Forget about them.
For some reason, M. Night Shyamalan, I don't know if it's because he keeps pumping them out, or because, like, there's hype, or because there's something that sticks in. Like, there might be a scene in that you'll never forget, but the movie sucks, so you never forget it. Like, what is it with him that he's such an anomaly like that? You never forget
it's because it's the reason that I feel like people never forget, and they're always willing to test it out, is because of how well his twists have landed in the past. He's had some duds, but The Sixth Sense, Signs, Unbreakable. I mean, some of these Split, The Visit. I mean, a lot of his movies, when they end, you're just like, holy fucking shit. And that sticks with people for a long time. When you remember a movie because his endings hit you so hard, you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna go and see if he does it again. Yes, he's tripped and stumbled along the way. There's been some duds in there, but you know what, I remember his duds, but I also remember his great movies. I'll take a chance on him every time. I don't give a fuck.
It's wild. Yeah, me too. The only one I don't think I've seen, did he do The Happening?
He did that. You didn't see The Happening?
I actually didn't see that because
arguably the worst of all of his movies.
Because everybody said it was so bad. I actually didn't see Lady in the Lake.
That's the one, Tricky. Lady in the Water.
Water.
Lady in Water with
that one always
Paul
intrigued
Giamatti.
Me. Yeah, and
that one's kind of mixed. And
that's mixed. Yeah, that one seems mixed.
I didn't like The Village. I didn't mind
The Village, but it was predictable.
It was very predictable. Yeah.
I mean, it was very predictable.
Marky Mark. Yep. Zoe was in it. I love Zoe Deschanel. She was in it. So was John Leguizamo. He was in it. I forgot he was in that movie.
Oh shit.
It's a good cast. It's a good cast. I mean, Mark Wahlberg is not good in the movie, but John Leguizamo's he's good. I like John Leguizamo. But it's just a really badly acted movie, and the ending is just so fucking. You're just like, this is a cop out. This is cheap.
Oh, nice. That was a very nice.
You like that? Well, no, yeah. I see what you did. There.
Just kidding.
But no, that was
Thanks, Arkenrath.
I'm really excited for it, man. I'm really excited for another M. Night movie. I'll go see it, and if it sucks, it sucks. But
well, you're gonna have to, because it's only in theaters, dude.
Only in theaters right now.
Yeah,
it'll be on iTunes and everything else, day and date. So, or like a week
HBO
later.
Max.
Well, what was it? What was the one movie that they did recently where it was out like 17 days in the theater? Oh, it was that News of the World. It was in theaters at Christmas time, and then they had this test where, like, well, we'll try it in the theaters, and then 17 days later we'll kick it out on demand. So maybe that's what they'll do with this.
Shut the fuck up, Arkenrath. You dumb. Hey, yeah, thank you. Anybody, just FYI, if you have not done the exclamation mark, enter, get in that giveaway coming up here real soon. We're giving it a $10 card to your gaming platform of the 3 consoles choice.
Let's take a look at the time
maybe
on that.
Steam if you ask nice.
18 minutes. 18 minutes to enter. Exclamation point enter, and you have to be here to claim it.
Point.
18 minutes.
There
Make sure you get in there, guys and gals.
Guys. Welcome, everybody. Good to see y'all.
All right. Now,
Uh-oh.
let's get through the trailer.
Wow.
That I think everyone was really, really excited about. And the thing is, it wasn't even the full trailer that came on during the Super Bowl.
Oh, apparently another one. Didn't more of it got released today?
That's what this one is. This is the big trailer that we're going to play right here.
The biggins.
This is the big trailer. So we're going to check this out right now. Well, we finally got a trailer and a release date.
For
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And the Winter Soldier. Whoa.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, you did too. Look at you.
Oh, wow. I subbed? Oh, look at that. I subbed. Man, I don't know who did this.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Appreciate
hey guys,
that.
thank you so much.
Sub drop, yo. Appreciate that. Shit. Thank y'all.
Jeez.
Can we tell who did that? Who did that?
I don't know. Who? Someone's own up to that, damn it.
We appreciate you all, you guys, and your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Appreciate those.
But let's get to it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So, who would like to start? Mr. Barnes, why does Sam aggravate you?
15 seconds to drop.
So what's our plan? Great.
Superheroes cannot be allowed to exist.
Here was my favorite part right there. He's got the mask. Right.
The world's upside down right now.
Where do we start?
Buck, I have a plan. Oh, yeah? What is it?
Is you ready?
Here we go again, huh?
We've been grinding hard on the job. Can't take that from us. Are you ready? Is you ready? You said you ready. Ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Is you ready?
Hello, girl, kick your ass.
Oh!
Gotta get that first shot up before that bullet hit me.
March 19th.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Are you ready? Is you ready?
Okay.
You say you ready.
What are you doing?
Whole squad ready.
Are you having a staring contest?
Are you ready? Is you ready?
Just blink. Sweet Jesus. I mean, how old are you?
So fucking good.
Yes. All right.
Good.
So,
good.
Tone, I'm gonna take the leash off you, and I know. Let's get cool off
I'm really
a little bit, big.
excited.
I know
I'm
you're
really
hyped. I know you're hyped. Break it down for me. What do you think of this trailer, dude?
It's exactly what I would want it to be, and coming from the scope of when these two were together in Civil War and how they were acting back and forth. I love, clearly they're both great actors. Anthony Mackie's been around for a long time. Sebastian Stan's kind of new to it, but I love Sebastian Stan. He's a guy who loves that he's in the MCU, and externally outside as Sebastian Stan, he's a hype guy, man. He's really excited. He wants to be part. He's very thankful.
Yep.
He's kind of like a nerd about it, and that's great, and I love that about him. So like to see him get a little bit more focus, because it is Bucky still, you know. But man, him and Anthony Mackie going back and forth like they were in Civil War, and being able to kind of carry that. I don't know if it kind of gives you that buddy cop feeling, which is what you kind of wanted. Like, I know some people are sometimes criticize the jokiness that MCU has provided. I actually like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
There's a lot of things I like about that, and that's a whole other topic. But this fits good for what we're doing here. We don't know anything else that's going, but the big piece of it is right there in the middle. Is Baron Zemo is back, and a lot of the criticism on him in Civil War, and though I do agree, I think you make a good point why they didn't have him have the mask. We'll never know unless we talk to Kevin Feige, but he hasn't.
See if we can get him on.
He hasn't replied to the emails yet. We're working with that, but Disney's really hard to get through. So
I send emails now. It comes back blocked.
Right. But the fact that he's got that purple mask on is really exciting because now Baron Zemo is getting into more Baron Zemo money. He orchestrated all of Civil War, a big piece of it, and now who knows what he's doing here to fuck with some shit. So he's clearly a higher terror level because he got away in Civil War, and now here we are with these. Or he didn't know he was actually. I think he was arrested at the end, right? Prime, correct me if I'm wrong. Baron Zemo was arrested at the end of Civil War. But anyways, yes, finally March. I believe this originally was planned to come out before WandaVision, which is unique too. So we're still having to wait a few more months till we can get this pumped out. And March is actually earlier than I thought this was going to come out because
way earlier. I'm
thinking like May or later because we still don't know if we're going to see Black Widow anytime this year, anytime soon, so that we're still at least getting more MCU stuff down the pipeline because I think WandaVision's just a taste and everybody's going to want more because we're used to having them every 3 or 4 months.
Right.
This is good timing that it's coming out. So, I don't know how to really outside break down the trailer except it was great to see Agent 13 back, Agent Carter, her niece back around as well too. So that's cool because she's a fucking badass. So, honestly, the biggest piece of that, like, it was really cool to see him fly into the semi trucks. Like I told you, that whole bit was dope. But the end right there is the big focus because again, they're doing the scaring contest. I mean, they're fucking acting like kids. Like, grow the fuck up, right?
Right.
And you said it best earlier, and I won't take that thunder and let you say it in a minute. What give you that feelings of, but that was amazing. Like that's what I want. I want that kind of like that sarcasm buddy cop shit, and that's what we got. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned it right there. This I got the same vibes that I got from like Civil War and whatnot. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of espionage, there's gonna be a lot of action. This is gonna be a much more action oriented show. But you talk about the buddy cop, like immediately got vibes of Lethal Weapon.
There it is.
From this trailer, with that type of humor, that back and forth. Yeah, that
go for the shit.
Go for the shit. But like that, I don't mind that. I like that. As these two are bonding, they're gonna lock horns, and there's gonna be. There's going to be issues back and forth, and I think that's really going to benefit them because they work so well together. I think they both have the acting chops to pull that off, and I think that's a great dynamic to play on people like these two characters here. Just to have that constant bickering back and forth, it's going to make it a lot of fun because when they work together, it makes you appreciate it more. Like, man, they hate each other, but they're working together, they're doing things together, and that's pretty dope. But yeah, you mentioned Baron in there, and the mask wasn't a focus in Civil War and whatnot, and I like that they do that before. As you mentioned, you talked about earlier. They don't go full comic book on some of these characters. Right. And this one, I think that's good that they do that because it allows you to get to know the person behind the mask. You kind of get a little bit of depth. You get a little bit of character depth. So once they do transition over to more of the comic book type of character, you have a better understanding of their motives. You have a better understanding of who they are. And I feel like that's one of the things I like about a lot of the Spider-Man villains is they all have a lot of backdrop where it's almost tragic, where they're back. You're like, man, that sucked. I understand why they made the decision they're making. And obviously, I don't know if we're getting that type of stuff here, but again, it just allows them to flesh out some of these characters before they make them out, so you can make kind of a connection with them.
Well, and that's just it because Zemo his family died in Sokovia. So when they smashed a meteor down on the city, boom, there he goes, and he blamed the Avengers. There's so Crash out here brought up a really good question or point. He says, you think the mask is supposed to invoke Thanos? I know in the comics, yes, Zemo wears the purple mask, but would the purpose for Zemo in the MCU maybe to invoke that Thanos look? That's an interesting thought process, and honestly, who knows? I mean, I guess I wouldn't be terribly mad about that necessarily. I mean, MCU kind of operates as a separate self anyways, and that kind of would be something that I could see them going with as a decision for that. So that's could honestly not be far from the mark, truth be told. Honestly.
6 Piece Nuggets, what do you guys think about the Spider-Man 3 stuff? We're still waiting for. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of information.
It's just so much smoke and mirrors. That's my Mysterio.
Yeah, it's hard to really dive into that because a lot of the stuff is, I know it's rumor and there's photos of stuff, but a lot of stuff hasn't quite been confirmed yet. So we're still waiting for them to kind of like. And to be honest with you, man, Tom Holland, it's not like this stuff's gonna be under wraps. There might never be any kind of like major confirmation until it's officially announced. But no, dude, that looks. I mean, the whole multiverse thing. Obviously, if they get everybody involved, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone and Who was the Mary
well,
Jane? Who was it? Willem Dafoe has been reported.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, Willem Dafoe was the latest one that they thought they saw.
Alfred Molina. I mean, they're bringing Jamie Foxx's Electro. I mean, they're bringing. Rumor has it they're going to have all. And Tom Holland said this is the most ambitious solo comic book hero movie ever. The most ambitious one he's ever been. He's a
hype guy though, so you got to be careful.
He is a big time hype guy. And honestly, if we're going to find out about this movie before we launch, it's going to be from Tom Holland.
And honestly, like if Jamie Foxx is coming in, he could just come hang out and play some piano for me. I'd be fine with that too.
I'd be totally fine with that.
Throwing it out there.
But no, this trailer was dope. I can't wait for this show. Do we know how many episodes are left of WandaVision?
Has anybody ever heard or said?
I don't know if they've actually came out.
Know
what is it? 6 this week?
6 is this week. Is it 9 or 10? Is that what we're hearing?
Because if it's 9 or 10, it's going to end right up at when this drops. Because I mean,
oh fuck,
yeah.
Oh shit, or maybe a week in between.
Maybe a week between, but if it's 10, I think it's going to land the week before.
Anybody want to out there, Cuddles? Can you check out the schedule for that for us and let us know what the schedule looks like for?
Because this Friday will be number 6.
This will be 6.
So I'm guessing it'll end the week prior to. I mean that's just brilliant by Disney Plus. You know why that's really smart? You know why it's smart by Disney Plus? Because they're releasing stuff weekly. No one's going to cancel their subscription. That's the thing that a lot of these streaming services have to worry about, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why they don't do the mega drop like Netflix.
I know.
Because you can sign up, binge it,
and
then cancel it. With Disney, they're going to make sure you're always subscribed. You're
which is
never
smart.
going to unsubscribe, and it's brilliant. It sucks.
Yeah, because I'm a binger, but like at the end of the day, like there's like let's be honest, like and again, everybody should be well known at this point that I suck Disney's teat hard. There's so much content on there. There's really a lot of content on there too.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're finding yourself getting like curmudgeon about, a show every week that you're paying $7 for a fucking, I mean, that you can go to fucking Starbucks and spend that in one.
You know what's interesting about it though, man? Honestly, I kind of like this in a way because it gives me something to look forward to watching.
It feels old school.
It feels very old school.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that.
It's nostalgia. It's nostalgic in that type of release cycle. But honestly, man, there would be times where a show would drop. I'd binge it, and then I'd be like, I don't have anything to watch. I got to wait for this show to drop in a month. Now I have something going every weekend, and I fucking love that. I love having that to look forward to on Friday nights or Saturday nights when I watch it with my wife and my kids. I love being able to watch this stuff on those nights. It will run until March 5th. Okay, so that gives us, 2 weeks to do whatever they need to do marketing-wise. Ain't nobody going to cancel their fucking subscription.
I didn't realize there was that many episodes in WandaVision. That means that we're like, it's going to get turned to 11 soon.
Oh, dude, based on the trailer we saw for this week's episode, looks pretty hype, dude.
Boner James.
Yeah, it's going to be hype, dude. It's
Bonier.
going to be wild. This is going to be a wild week. I mean, the show's already getting better. We'll talk about that in a minute. Before we switch that, do you need to go tinkle?
What's the next
Wanda.
topic?
When I say tinkle, he's going to have to go up there and rub one out probably because it's WandaVision. Be smart because I'm not going to knock that train off the tracks once you get going.
Let's just go.
Well, let me see what the
let's check the giveaway.
Giveaway.
Because I've got.
You have 5 minutes. If you want to go right now, I'll do bullshit before the giveaway.
All right, Dad. Let me do that.
All right, go ahead. Go right now.
I'm a pee-pee.
And we are going to play the tinkle
I'm
time.
gonna wash my hands.
Because I want to see tinkle time. I'm going to do a quick line, and then we'll be right back once you're done.
Smarties, I hope.
I'm sorry. What?
Sick fuck.
No, we'll be right back, you guys. And we're back. Tone's feeling good. We've got the next hour block ready to go for some Wanda talk. We had a massive show this week. Before we get to that, I don't want to do that. Giveaway. 1 minute, 15 seconds. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you hit ! Enter. ! Enter to get into the drawing, and in 1 minute, it will choose a winner. You'll get a $10 code, gift card of your choice, either PSN, Xbox Live, or burp,
Kroger's
eShop card,
Kroger
of your choice, whichever one you'd like, and we'll hook you up after the show. But let me see here. Where are we at on time? Pretty close. 30 seconds to enter. ! Enter. Make sure you get in now. ! Enter. Oh, who do you think is going to win? Prime, probably?
Never heard of him.
I don't know, that piece of shit. We are down to 20 seconds. Make sure you get in. Here we go. Can we get those $10 to Tones? Oh, hey, we can't say that on here. Twitch is very
almost got you.
Twitch is very mean.
Almost got you too.
Almost got me. All right, and we have a winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the winner is. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? I was just joking, too, when I said that. I should go play the lotto. What a travesty. What a fucking travesty this is. This show sucks. Seriously, Banter and Babble sucks. God. Take that in a roll of quarters. Yeah.
I got your roll of quarters, motherfucker. Why don't we, you know what? This is what I say. Let's let him have that win.
You can have this one.
Let's roll another one.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, I'll throw it out.
Oh shit. Okay, well. All right. Tone wants to do another one.
Prime, don't hit ! Enter, you piece of shit. Let's do another giveaway real quick. So hang on, let him set it up. We'll set it for what?
Oh, Prime didn't
Oh, he didn't claim it?
He didn't claim it.
Wait, did
It's Boots. It's Boots' one.
It's Boots. What'd he do? How did you not claim that?
He didn't claim it.
How long do you have to claim it?
You have a minute. You have to be here to claim it.
Oh.
So whoever It's Boots is, oh, he did it on purpose. What a sweetheart. It's Boots if you're here. I don't know if It's Boots is here.
Why does Mix It Up Bot have an erection for him?
I have no idea.
We didn't start another one. Hang on, guys. There's
It's Boots.
It auto generated to our friend It's Boots.
It's Boots. There's our winner. All right, we have a winner.
It's Boots. Are you in our Discord?
I don't know if It's Boots is. I don't think so.
Because we can DM you that.
Yeah, I don't know if It's Boots has Twitter or.
Wait.
I think can we whisper? Or I think you can hit you can do a direct message. You can message us on Twitter on Twitch. I'm on mobile, so there's a delay. My bad. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Don't worry about that. Can you message us on Twitch? Let us know which code you want. I just want to be able to get this. Or do you have a Twitter? If you can, share your Twitter in the chat here or whisper it, and I'll follow you. I'm in Discord, pretty sure. We'll figure it out. Okay. Sweet. There you go. Prime. Next time, Prime though. Prime says, I just like the satisfaction of knowing I own.
God, I don't. I like it's. I don't
think it's rigged or anything. And it's not rigged. I don't think it's anything with this. I think he just has that kind of luck.
No, it's not.
Because we've ran a lot of giveaways since then, and I have it so anybody can re-enter, and he hasn't won before. So I think it's just pure luck on his part.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
it's Boots' Booty Haver.
Oh, I thought. Oh yeah, duh.
Duh.
Oh yeah, so hey, I'll get you a code.
I forgot she changed her name. She changed her name.
My bad. So yeah, Boots.
All right, now she's not getting a gift card at all. It's Booty Haver. She don't need a gift card.
She get a roll of quarters.
She gets a roll of quarters.
No, seriously though, the Mix It Up Bot has to, because Prime's been with us for so long, early like it's got to give him priority.
I don't know. I don't because it says it. I don't know how it would do that. I don't know how it would do a priority thing like that. There's no way to set that up.
Maybe it's a dumb fucking bot.
It is a dumb bot. But Booty Haver, you are the winner, and we will hook you up. I'll hit you up on Twitter, and just let me know what code you want. If you want PSN, Xbox, or Nintendo Switch, and we will send you a $10
or a
code.
Kroger, your local,
or a Kroger,
maybe a Mooney's,
whatever you want to do,
or maybe Mooney's. All
right, now back to the topic at hand. WandaVision, episode 5. The big reveal last week was we heard from Elizabeth Olsen that there was going to be a huge cameo. And you and I were talking about, everyone was talking about, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Nobody expected this. Nobody expected this. This, and I mean, at first, honestly, because I haven't seen a lot of those X-Men movies to like the newer ones or whatever. When I saw the person, I was like, and then when Darcy says, they've why'd she recast Pietro? I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then I was like, oh shit. But anyways, Tom, before we get into that, tell me what is going on with WandaVision, dude. Episode 5, mind blowing or what?
Yeah, honestly, it was. This is for some of us real hyper nerds. This was kind of the moment we had been waiting for.
Yep.
This was the thread or the common link, or however you want to say it. This was the event that really is going to platform what's going to happen in Doctor Strange, and my guessing is always into Spider-Man 3 as well too, and also really in all intents and purposes change the scope of Phase 4 MCU. This moment was pretty fucking wild. Now, I'll be honest, I'll say, because she's got to do her PR, it was not Luke Skywalker after 30 years, young Luke Skywalker, 40 years coming in. It wasn't that big.
I don't think it was that big per se for the character, but
right?
For the significance, I would say it's on
exactly.
par. I would say
and
it's
I do
on par.
that I'll concede a little bit too, for sure. But like, because when you say Luke Skywalker, we have a cameo as big as Luke Skywalker. Well, it's Luke fucking Skywalker, right? But the actuality, the reason why is why it's so huge. So, clearly we've booted out. You know, the last episode prior, we've got Monica Rambeau out. We're in the real world. We're figuring everything out.
Yep.
We're, you know, Wanda's kind of clearly they've kind of decided that Wanda's almost more villainous in maybe some way, or she maybe isn't fully in control. We still don't know a lot of that as well too. There's a lot of speculation.
Man,
you're right, and a lot of speculation. But this episode really kind of like pulled more back, and when you get to the end, it's really quite wild. But we see Monica now in the tent and kind of hanging out with the sword people. There's a name that she drops that kind of like made me think of where this is going to go with this potential cameo.
not so much a name, but a title, wasn't it?
It was a title,
a job title,
job title, which kind of also leads to more speculation as well too. They're still trying to figure out what exactly is going on there. You know, the hexagon thing is something that I can't stop thinking about. It's literally in my brain. Originally, I thought it was like AIM, that organization, that science organization, but now when one of the breakdowns said that the hexagon shape is the same hexagon shape when in Guardians of the Galaxy when they're flying and folding space.
Yep.
They're saying that the hexagon might be a representation of her changing time and space,
like
as
the
well,
multiverse, like a
right. So I think that's kind of cluing into what she's tapping into, like clearly the multiverse or something like that. So it was a pretty normal episode for the most part. You know, we're starting to see things like Vision's really kind of like starting to clue in on everything.
Yep.
And she's trying to keep him like almost sedated.
Mm-hmm.
And Agnes comes in. There's a point with the twins who now all of a sudden, in the twins, 2 or 3 times in this episode, was it twice? No, it was twice, almost thrice, age themselves.
Right.
And, you know, grow up or whatever you want to say.
Right in front of Agnes, too.
Right in front of, too. And there's a moment where Agnes is like, you know, she thinks she fucked up a line or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's when she was like, can I go pick up the baby? And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea right now. And then she was like, oh.
Well, Vision says something.
He's
like, well, he's kind of cluing in on something's going on.
Yep.
He's really starting to pick up on everything because, you know, he's such a powerful sentient being. And now we're seeing that, you know, why, you know, Wanda, actually that scene, that cut scene that they show, or that scene that she goes in and gets his body and it's the pieces of his body.
Right.
That was actually supposed to be at the end of Endgame. That was a cut scene.
Oh, really?
That was supposed to be an Endgame that they actually just added into WandaVision the way they did. So
interesting.
Yep, J Hill, that's definitely one of the theories as well too. So it's going to be potentially layered as well too. Anyways, the stuff that's going on in the middle of it is that it seems like not only is Vision waking up to it, like people are starting to waking up, but they're starting to figure out that the people in this Westview are definitely prisoner,
right? And
they don't have any control, and they're aware, like they're subconsciously aware, which makes it really interesting because then you're like, well, how is that going to play out after this is all done? Like, is this going to affect these characters?
Well, you can already see the psychological effects that are taking place with some of these characters. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like they're
absolutely.
And the thing is, I want to know: is it Wanda that's losing a grip on things, or is there, like I said, is there something else that was nefarious intent controlling her?
Exactly, and so that's kind of like where I think a lot of us are at right now. Is that you bring in this Hawley guy who's kind of like the director of S.W.O.R.D.
Right.
He seems to kind of be prodding, and because he tried to get them to say, what's her name kind of thing,
right?
And it's like, well, you know, they've never actually called her the Scarlet Witch, you know. It's almost like he almost knows or is trying to prod that out of him.
Yep.
So there's been rumors or thought process that he's kind of the villain and he's trying to antagonize a little bit, and that he might be you know, Mephisto or something like that, because the tie into all this stuff with Agnes and with the twins and everything is always going to be at this point Mephisto. And there's always rumors years ago of that villain being a villain in the MCU somewhere on like a planier level, because there's always like a cosmic level and a planier level, right? Or however you want to say it. So, however, Jay Hill just kind of revealed with the big, reveal at the end of the show. There's also been that being kicked around. Like, is that actually Mephisto? Like, where is it going to fit into? Because it's clearly got to be Mephisto.
Got to be Ralph.
Ralph's
got to be Mephisto.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Ralph could honestly be that as well too, as Mephisto as well too. So, the big reveal. So all the substance that's going on. Wanda gets pissed. Wanda realizes, as they're starting to like Vision starting to figure it out. She walks out of Westview, and all of a sudden her accent's back, and she pretty much threatens everybody. And they're almost sort of trying to paint her as a villain, but I still think that she's being controlled somehow too. Like, she's not in fully control.
Which would be the point of that would be to put the focus on her. Whoever's like investigating this, they want the focus to be on her, because whoever is possibly pulling the strings, they're trying to get her to do stuff. They're trying to, maybe they're controlling the agent at SWORD to antagonize her, get her pissed, because they're trying to get the focus on her so they can do whatever they're doing.
Yeah, and the question is like, if that's what's really going on, like, is it one person? Is it I'm pretty sure it's probably one, maybe two involved, and a lot all comes back to Mephisto. Do they want her to tear space and time? That's the question.
Right.
Or do they unwillingly know that they're doing that? I think they might know. I don't think she realized. I think she's also kind of on the roller coaster ride as well too, without any control. But then at the end, after all this stuff's going on, all this crazy shit's going on, we finally get the fucking cameo, and you see the back of it at first, and you're like, oh shit, Aaron Taylor's back, Pietro's alive. No, it's Evan fucking Peters from the Fox side of the Marvel. Thank you. That technically is more like Legend almost. It doesn't exist, but now has created an actual gateway into which now, like, regardless if this is actually Pietro from Fox or even if it's Mephisto, it's a fourth wall break into that sense where now they're connected to the Fox properties, which now can lead to mutants, X-Men, Deadpool. Sky's the limits at this point. They can honestly run the ball with it, and they're clearly going to do that eventually when we get into Doctor Strange 2 as well. But if we've got that many episodes left in this season, the sky right now literally is quite the limit. And we know there's a battle coming on, because there's a point in one of the trailers they showed like we got to fight for our home or whatever like that.
Right.
So something's going to get really fucking crazy really soon, but we just don't know where that's going to do. How many beers deep is Fanboytone?
22.
Yeah, I'm like,
is Tone going to be driving home? No, he's flying home.
Yeah.
He's going to take those 12 blue crystals and he's going to go to Utopia and do his own thing.
Right. Are you going to come pick me up, buddy, and take me to McDonald's, get a little hamburger and some nuggies? What's up?
Ooh, spicy nugs.
They're back. They're really good, by the way.
Yep.
So that created, like, I honestly did, like, it wasn't as big as the Luke thing, but when I'm watching this and I go, I was like, holy shit. Like, here's who I thought was going to show up. I thought originally, actually Magneto, I didn't even think about that with the white hair. That could have been throw people off too. Monica Rambeau said in the, we got a big block of sweet. Said early in the show that I have a friend back at SWORD, some airspace, blah, 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 who could probably take a look at this. I instantly was like, that's Reed Richards.
Right.
And that's Fantastic Four. And I still think I think Fantastic Four is going to platform through SWORD in the MCU. I still think it is that character. I was just hoping he was going to show up at the door. That would have been really fucking cool.
Do you think the Pietro thing is kind of like the distraction from that? I mean, how funny would it be if this, obviously Pietro is huge. He shows up as Evan Peters.
Yeah, his dead brother, yeah.
But then you mention the whole, but you subtly mention the engineer, and everyone's like, oh, fuck, that's a Fantastic Four. That could be, I mean, what if that's like a misdirection? Like, focus on this, but don't forget that
it's very possible. They love doing that shit. And very honestly, like, we know Fantastic Four is coming, and they always like to breadcrumb that shit out. That's our first actual crumb for that. I think it's our second. I think Ollie mentions it in like the fourth episode. That was the first breadcrumb. This is the second breadcrumb for that character. But then I thought, because I knew the cameo was coming, I'm like, it's probably Doctor Strange. Like, why not get Cumberbatch in here? They're gonna be together in a movie soon. Like, let's bring them together. Fuck it. He show up at the door and be like, Wanda, what the fuck are you doing? Kind of thing. And maybe the series goes.
Dude, that would have been nuts.
That would have been nuts. But honestly, this is even nuttier than all of that shit, because we literally, like, for years I have shat on the Fox series. Like
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very familiar with that character, that Quicksilver in those series with Evan Peters. I think Evan Peters is a great actor. I love him in American Psycho and shit like that, but I don't recognize those movies. I didn't anyways because they were so terrible. And a lot of people like them, and that's fine. It's your opinion. You can be wrong. I don't care. I don't watch that shit. I don't fucking care. There's a reason why they don't have them. There's a reason why Disney's got them back. But as much as I love Aaron Taylor, and I know that's another debate, it was just wild to see this happen. Like, this is how they're going to do it and connect it. And could he go forward with being alive now as Quicksilver? I think it's probably, I'm going to say no. But to have him play, and as Darcy said, oh shit, she recast him. That was really fucking cool. Yeah, that was really fucking cool. And here we are. We now have kind of connected the dots to, this is the true door opening now for what the possibilities are endless at this point with the multiverse, with where we're going to go with the MCU and where the next phase or so is going to bring.
I just love that fourth wall breaking element of it, how they use the same actors from all these movies. That's so cool. I mean, the connection they have with the audience, like, yeah, I've seen this guy before. He was in this movie. Even the folks that don't really understand how deep this runs, they don't understand the studios buying properties and IPs and all that stuff. They don't understand all that stuff. The fact that they can make that connection, like, oh shit, Jamie Foxx, he was in Spider-Man. That's cool how he's in this one. They don't understand the magnitude of this, how awesome this is, and how they're using that to, like, to make connections with people. Yes, I like that character. I'm glad he's in this MCU now.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of it's pretty meta.
Yeah,
it's
really
very meta. It's very meta, and that's kind of neat because, think of the last time you've watched a set of movies. I mean, there's never been any movie like 20-some in a phase of something, right? Like, it's pretty fucking crazy to even think about all on its own for storytelling purposes. But, yeah. So that's that's fucking nuts. So like complete like Gonzo shit, and here we are. And that's finally what some of us have been waiting for. So, and it was well into surprise territory beyond even. So, I do want to come back. I saw a big block of text down here for Crash.
I
want to make sure we come back to that because they took a lot of time to put something together. So you read that because
I've told Tone my theory before. I think Evan as Pietro is that just moved. Shit. Is to throw the audience off. I think Mephisto is taking the shape of Pietro to get Wanda caught off guard. She even looked confused when she saw him. The reveal that it isn't the real Pietro will lead to the multiverse opening up. That's a nice nod to the fans casting Evan Peters, though. So he thinks Evan Peters is a nod, which I think that makes sense because yep, that's Evan Peters. That's great, but it's still Mephisto doing his thing. But it's still. It acknowledges what they're trying to do with Spider-Man and everything else. So it's like, again, it's really crazy how they're twisting all this stuff. And if that is the case, that's a pretty sneaky move right there.
He was, a matter of fact, I saw him before he was actually able to watch the episode, and we're talking, and he was like, he brought up Evan Peters or Pietro or something without really, I don't think, knowing, because it was very like, just kind of like on a whim as he's talking about it. And I was like, yeah, you really need to watch the episode, like, without cluing in. And then he texted me after, he's like, dude, holy shit. And it's like, yeah, bro, like, he was actually pretty close to the mark on that, right?
Six Piece Nug said, she did state in the show, I did not do that when the doorbell rang. Yeah, she did. She said, I didn't do that. Because remember, they're sitting on the couch, she's talking to Vision, and the doorbell rings, and he looks, he's like, oh, come on. And she's like, no, I didn't do that.
That wasn't me. So that's starting to form that there's an external something happening involved.
And I think that's a great point. I think what that does is that shows you, look, somebody else is controlling this whole thing. They're manipulating Wanda, and that's almost. And again, I feel like it's the shock of seeing Evan Peters that gets people to forget, who, if she's not doing this, if she didn't do that, who did it? But by the time you get to Evan Peters' show, everyone's like, oh my God, it's Evan Peters. That's crazy. That's Pietro from the X-Men movies. We forget about the little thing where she's like, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Nug.
Fucking Nug again.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. That was fucking insane seeing it. Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild episode. It was a great episode. And again, I love how thought provoking it is. I love how there's just so many questions, and there's just the way they handle the sitcom, and then how it breaks reality, and how you see the outside world seeping in through there, and Wanda losing control. Yep. It's one of those shows, man. Every time every time something happens, like when Agatha or when is it Agatha?
Agnes, yeah. Agnes.
When Agatha's like, or Agnes, when she's like, do you want me to do that again? Should I take it from the top? I was just like, I fucking love that. I love it.
Yeah,
because it's
fourth wall.
Yeah, it's fourth wall.
Yeah,
and
I love
it's
that
so
shit.
good. Crash says, perhaps Wanda telling the twins, why won't you just do what I want? Is Wanda cluing us in on the fact that she's losing grip on this world?
Oh, yeah.
So Agnes and Mephisto are coming in and getting her tangled in further. Anthouse says Mephisto will bring Silver Surfer to Fantastic Four,
That's
X-Men.
his call.
Interesting. What do you think?
Silver Surfer. That might. I mean, Silver Surfer is also linked to the Fantastic Four, so it actually. Yeah, that's. I think that's pretty close to the mark. I think that keeps with the theme that Mephisto is orchestrating what's going on here, but he probably has a bigger overall vision, and it's very possible that, no pun intended, that he's orchestrating all of this stuff because he wants to open up all the
I like Panic. What if the people not in the TV show realize they too are in the TV show? Like Darcy Lewis looks at the camera. And
Oh, I
she's
thought
like,
you were talking about us.
right. Wait a minute. What?
Right.
Fantastic Four will lead to Galactus, and that'll lead to SS.
That's what we need. The Herald.
Oh, okay.
Galactus is massive.
Yeah, I mean it's wild, man. This show can go any direction right now, and I think
that's the point.
And honestly, man, that's why I love that it's weekly, because it allows us to sit down and talk about when you release all that shit right away. It kills that excitement. I feel like when you can sit down and talk about this stuff, it generates excitement. It makes it fun. It gets people discussing things and talking about stuff. I love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. I love that conversation. I love theories. I love hearing people talking about it and getting excited about it. That gets me hyped to watch it on Friday nights, man.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
We can't wait.
Can't wait. So that's going to do it for WandaVision. Time to move on to a show that I can't wait to end. Let's talk
That's supposed to mean
about 30 coins.
I meant tonight. I'm like, what a prick.
I can't wait to be done with these, so I'm going to go get some spicy chicken nugs. 30 coins.
Right.
We had episode 7 drop this week, and not an improvement over the last couple episodes that we talked about last week. This show started off so strong. The first 4 episodes were so good. We had this John Carpenter vibe. There was a lot of good horror. There was a lot of good Lovecraftian horror. There was a lot of mystery, a lot of good chemistry between the trio of main characters. 5 and 6 kind of went down this, exploring each individual character arc, and it was just, it was really underwhelming. In this last episode, I don't even know what this fucking show is anymore. But I'm going to let you to kind of share your thoughts before I go total negative Nancy.
Good night there. Is that White Wolf, by the way?
White Wolf it is. Good night, White Wolf. Thanks for hanging out, bud.
Buddy.
Have a good night.
This episode definitely took a sidestep and didn't really go forward.
Uh-huh.
Now, there's a lot of things in it I really liked, but it definitely fell flat on like moving anything. And if anything, like you said before, it kind of moved us into a little bit more campy territory, which I don't think anybody expect. Like, and I'm always open to, don't get me wrong, but it's just something I don't think we expected. But I feel like was kind of there. Like it was almost like it's almost like setting something on the shelf and coming back to it a little while later and go, oh, I forgot about this. Let's dust it off a little bit, right?
I felt that and rushed. It feels like we're rushing to the finish line now.
Kinda, yeah, and which is we're worried about because we've always said, especially you, is like I'm worried about sticking the landing at this point.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're at right now. And this, listen, the fog, the concept with all that and everything that was going on with that, with Angelo being there, and all that stuff's great. Merche, is that I'm saying that right?
March,
like
or Mercedes is their name, but they call her Merch.
Paco's wife is. It's almost like it's cliche to make that character be so fucking cliche, honestly, and then allowing that character to grow more cliche, like the hair cutting thing, and like, that's fine or whatever. But like everything else about her, like she's just turning into that fucking like, oh yeah, the fucking wife. Yeah, she's a drag. Like she's been like that the entire time, and it's like, bro, did she really have to evolve the way she kind of did? Because when she, and don't get me wrong, like when it involved kind of the coin and stuff like that, that kind of worked and kind of made sense. But like everything around her, like even the church scene, and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna walk over here. Look at me, window, boom, I'm out.
She's
See
out.
ya.
Right,
like,
right,
get
right.
the fuck
Nobody
out
else. Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Like, really?
Yeah.
That's what we're going with. Even the consequence of it, because they all got out, no problem.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what was the point?
What was the point of burning the church?
Do they even are they? Yeah, they gonna even realize that he was the one that started that.
But the only reason they burned the church is so he could have his fucking Robert Rodriguez moment walking out of the church with guns loaded.
Apparently so,
Yeah.
and like the I thought the car thing with Paco was really kind of neat and stuff like that. But like we just really didn't like. Elena shows up to the town and like. What like I don't know like they find like they've been secretly working up to this fight between the two ladies and they finally got it and like I'll be honest, it was pretty brutal. She's like slamming her head on the
shit.
I'm like okay, I'm like yeah, let's see some fucking blood, right? Like or something. But man, overall the story really just didn't go forward. Like we know she's got the coin. They walk into the fog. I thought the car running into it was fucking cool out of nowhere. Like again, all that stuff was cool, but there was just no substance to the story.
Yeah,
like. Father Vergara gets out, gets into town, like sneaks into town or whatever he does, and they like maybe they do or don't know he's there, and like clearly Angelo is like supposed to be like it's like a Devil May Cry scene set up, like what the fuck's going on here, right? Yeah. You know, the coin's in the wrong hands. Hell's about to all break loose. Vergara walks into the church, opens up his secret stash, and all of a sudden you see he's dribbling like holy water over the bullets and stuff like that. He comes out like we said, like a Robert Rodriguez film at the end. Like the church is on fire, and he comes out. He's got Uzis on him. He's all dressed in black.
I was just like, this is turned into a
holy
comedy.
Shit! Like, and don't get me wrong. Again, in the right space, I have no problem with that. But what I liked about this series was the horror elements, the H.P. Lovecraft vibes that sometimes and stuff like that. And like now, and even really this crazy demon mythos of the coins. But now it's kind of like in the series definitely being that it's maybe European built, the drama stuff that they did. Like the Young and the Restless shit, like you said, even that to a degree has been kind of like, that's more than I expected.
Right.
But it's okay, maybe that's just a different intake for folks over there. For over here, not so much. And some of it was all right and made sense. But man, it's gotten a little out of hand because it's almost taken precedence to some of the actual story that we need to move along.
No, yeah, like the first 4 episodes, it did a great job. But yes, the first 4 episodes, I understood. Okay, look, things are going to be presented a little bit differently than they are over here, and I was fine with that because the story was engaging. The rapport between the 3 main characters was you're like, okay, cool, I can get behind these folks.
Yeah.
I want to see what's going to happen to them. Everything was really, really good between the 3 of them. And there was horror. There was Lovecraftian. And again, I compared to a lot of what we saw from like John Carpenter in the early 80s and 90s. Like it was just a very intriguing, suspenseful, scary show. There's a lot of good stuff about it. Then we got to 4 and 6 where they broke up the characters to kind of explore the different character arcs because they need to like piece things together to make things make sense at the end. But none of those 3 story arcs. Well, I mean, Vergara's was interesting because you're dealing with the antagonist, so I mean that was important. But like the stuff with Paco, and the stuff with Elena was just kind of meh. And when you do that for 2 straight episodes, that's killing the pacing of what you set up in the first 4.
And can we talk about the fact that the town goof or whatever he is, like
Antonio?
He helps the new priest lay the stuff
down. Then he calls him out,
and then he walks in and calls him out, and then nobody reacts, and he sits down and starts drinking a beer. I'm like, what the fuck was the point in any of that?
There's just like so many decisions being made in this last episode that are just so bizarre.
How bizarre.
There's some how bizarre, very bizarre.
How bizarre.
But yeah, there's character decisions. There's a lot of plot things going on with the people in the town with the fog. They're like, oh, we can't go anywhere. But then they make their way across town from the town in to the church, but they're too scared to go out. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, they're lost, but they're not lost. It's like, what's going on?
They're locked
right
in this town now. They can't get out. Now they realize
it's just like the show has just careened out of control. It's gone from this John Carpenter suspenseful horror movie to daytime drama that sucks to a Robert Rodriguez movie that's not well done. And it's just like, what is going on? Well, how did we transition from this to this? And, based on what we saw for the trailer for the next episode, it looks like it's going to be pretty wild. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it looks like we're going to see a Lovecraftian entrance by a demon of some
finally.
Sort. Which is awesome. But at this point, man, I feel like we're just kind of rushing to the finish line now. We're just kind of like scrambling to make sense of stuff. And I'm really worried about them sticking the landing. Yes, I want to see monstrosities. Yes, I want to see these horrific demons. But at the same time, I want to get an ending that's going to match up with my expectations from the first 4 episodes.
Right, and I guess we'll know next week. Like
Monday night.
And at that point, once we're done with it, we can sit back and say, okay, maybe these episodes were irrelevant. They could have trimmed the fat. Because even when he first went to Rome or whatever, like you were learning some shit.
Oh, dude, like I said, Vergara's story, his storyline when they broke him up was really interesting. It was important. It was integral to the plot. It was it was a direct relation to everything that we saw prior, and it's a direct relation to everything that we're going to see at the end. Paco and Elena's stories were just fucking fodder, and you're just like, God, that's... And again, when you break up those 3, it's just not nearly as interesting compared to when they were all together.
Well, now it looks like they're going to come together.
Well, they're all going to be together. They got one episode.
Devil May Cry fight together. So
I don't know, man. I'm disappointed right now, and hopefully they're able to stick the landing, and hopefully it's an interesting ending, but my expectations are kind of low because we have one episode to make up for what we've wasted time and the most disinteresting stuff in the last 3 episodes. I think it's gonna be hard for them to land it, and I just don't know how rushed this is gonna feel.
And I don't know if they can do another season after that. And if they do, that's okay.
Who knows?
Guess we'll know.
In-house said, "Should I watch this?" Like I said, man, watch the first 4 episodes at least for that. I mean, it's really interesting. Like I said, it's a different type of horror movie. It's filmed over in Spain, so it's a foreign film. Their special effects are done a little bit differently than what we see over here. But in terms of the story, I thought it was really interesting. It was really intriguing.
Right. Like there's a lot of things I really enjoy about the series, and I'm very intrigued by that story and a lot of things going on. I've watched a lot worse things and sunk time into a lot worse series. So like I say watch it. Honestly, I don't think it's like again, it's not the worst thing I've seen. It's just that it's kind of getting boring.
Yeah, well, I mean, boring, yes. I would say it's more confusing and just really bizarre, like the way they've taken them. Very bizarre. 4 episodes, maybe I'll try it out. I mean, honestly, watch it for the first 4, see if you're invested. Yeah. But, I mean, I can't promise you're not going to feel let down by 5 and 6. 7 just feels completely different from the first 4. Whether or not there's some huge revelations or huge, things happening in the final episode, we don't know. The first 4 episodes I thought were worth the investment. I had a really good time with them. I thought they were really interesting. So, next topic we're going to talk about. The writing is bad. The delivery, the directing. I think again, the first 4 episodes, I think the writing is really good. It's a foreign film, so there's subtitles and stuff. I don't mind that stuff. I know people are indifferent about it, but I thought the writing was really good. The characters were well written. Like you were really interested in the mysteriousness of him. Obviously, there was some mystery around Elena and her past. Paco was a cool character because he's a confident character. But you're watching these characters all kind of transition to different archetypes now.
Last thing I'll say to kind of go with what you say, Ant House, and we'll know, I guess, after this episode coming up, the finale. I got a feeling they stretched out the episodes. I feel like they could have got away with maybe only 6 episodes in this series.
Like make it like a limited series.
I think it would have come off better. Yeah. Honestly, I think the fact that they drowned it out to...
I mean, how the hell would they even make this thing like a reoccurring season? I mean, there's only one.
Who knows?
Left.
Next week, I mean, maybe they get the coin back and they go on the run. I don't know.
We'll see. Honestly, I think the first 4 episodes are worth a view. And if you're getting invested, if you're like, I want to see where this is going to go, then you have to like plod through the next couple episodes, make sense of stuff. But again, Father Vergara's story, his story arc is really, really interesting, and it's integral to the point, everything that's happening. So I thought that part was pretty good, but we'll find out Monday night if it's any good or not.
And if not, just you're on HBO Max, go watch some Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That never gets old.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, awesome. All right, quick game discussion. We checked out Destruction AllStars on Friday night. You, myself, Tricky Regent, and Piccolo 930, the legendary warlock from Destiny 2. We hopped on and played Destruction AllStars, and this game is fun. I just don't know about the legs. I don't know if it's going to have the legs to last.
Every time, that's one of the first things we have to say, right?
Yeah, and it really is. And for a PlayStation Plus game, if you have PlayStation 5, it's a no-brainer. Download the game. It's fun. It's really exciting. But when I look at the fact that there's no season pass, and I look at the fact that, a lot of the stuff, there's not a whole lot of customizable stuff. There's stuff you can buy in-game currency. I just don't know how long this game is going to last with only 4 maps.
Do we have a roadmap?
And 2 or 4 modes. 2 of them can only do solo queue, and the other 2
what the fuck
are party only. So you only have it's very limited in terms of its offerings, but the moment-to-moment gameplay while you're doing the combat and driving and stuff, it's fun. It's on PlayStation 5 only, in-house. But let me get your thoughts on it, man.
First of all, I got to say, I always enjoy playing games when you, Piccolo, and Trick come involved because, I go back to, quarantine and we were playing games, stuff like that. You four were 4 of the 5 people we play a lot of games with Predator. So it's always a good time. Tricky's got a potty mouth, which is really off-putting sometimes. He's a filthy potty mouth son of a bitch. But
he is.
No, honestly, in all seriousness, it's always fun playing games with people that you enjoy playing games with. These are people that I love playing games with. The game is very fun. I love anything in a car. Anyways, it reminds me, even though Rocket League is clearly the bigger game and platformed off PlayStation Plus being free that one summer, and you got Fallout guys and some of these games that Plus gives you, and they're all of a sudden like these hits.
Right.
This game has the potential to be a hit, but again, it's one of those things where you're looking at it, okay, where are the legs? Where's your roadmap? You give me 4 modes, but only 2 of them multiplayer.
Yeah.
Doing the same things over and over.
Yep.
And we met with tons of fucking like server and party glitch issues.
Yeah, we had some issues. Yeah, it's not a streamlined experience in terms of its party system.
I mean, what is these days? Don't get me wrong. I mean,
this is more than normal, and that makes it kind of difficult too.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Especially when you're streaming.
It has the potential. It's again the moment-to-moment combat. It's really fun when you get into a match. It's exciting. All the characters have kind of like their own personalities. They all have their own different abilities. All their cars have their own different abilities. It's got the potential, but man, I am really glad this is a Plus title and not like a $49, $59, or even a $69.99 game, because I would not pay for this game in its current state.
Right, and I also feel like I've played a small number of the heroes or whatever they're called, the characters. I don't feel like any of their powers are really that much of a game changer. Maybe that's just me.
I think the vehicle ones are a little bit more prominent because obviously that's the bulk of the game.
They are, but some of them like just feel more OP than others.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it does need a little bit more twist. That I'll agree with Trick. Like I gotta, because it is Destruction Derby, so it makes sense. You want to run into people. I understand that you got to be near. But I feel like it is missing a little bit of that, like
weapons. Like that's where
maybe that's my fault. Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the difference is between Twisted Metal and like Destruction Derby. Destruction Derby is about ramming speed and doing damage like that, whereas Twisted Metal is more about rockets and power ups and shit like that. It's more like a very violent like Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like, yeah, or I should say not that makes sense, but I enjoy the getting out of the car bit.
Yeah. Running around collecting the crystals to power up your stuff. Yep.
And even that one where you're getting the cogs is an interesting take.
Yep.
All that. But again, I just feel like, man, we're so close to something, and all the characters felt, like no one ever stuck out to me. Like it's not
like Overwatch where you have all those characters that are like really stand out.
Which characters. It does get some Overwatch vibes too, and I get that. But it's not. It definitely isn't that. And that's not to say that future down the road that couldn't be there. It's just like, give me more. Like, I don't want to play the two same fucking maps, because then I'm playing solo by myself, and it's like, okay, these maps are, because admittedly the other 2 are more fun.
Right. No,
that's how I felt.
I agree.
Solo modes are more fun.
Solo modes are more fun. Yep. So I think they're more organized. I feel like the team modes are a little kind of disorganized. It's a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, it is.
And unless you're playing with like a full crew, it's probably not as strategic either. So it's probably a little bit more messy. But no, I feel like in the short time that we played, it was fun. It was exciting. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if this game is going to have the legs to last unless they really start churning out content. But like the developer's good, Lucid Games. I mean,
it's a beautiful game.
We looked up some of the stuff they've worked on. Need for Speed Payback. They have helped out with what was it, Jedi Fallen Order. They've worked on a lot of games. They're working on Apex Legends. They work with Respawn to create content. So I mean, Lucid Games has potential. They're very good. They work with bigger.
So is this their kind of first like?
This is like I think their first like major title.
Well, that's okay. So
Geometry Wars 3 was like their last big title, and that was a good game. It was a really fun game. It's obviously an indie title, but this is like their first big like AAA game.
But I mean good on them, because like again, like I've played worse games. It's a free game right now for the most part for PlayStation Plus. So but again, you got to look at what's kind of like. When we played Predator, we were always like, "What's the longevity of this games?" And we all like the 3 or 4.
To Predator.
And we bounce around it a lot anyways. And you never beat games, so it is what it is. We just can't seem to stay consistent, and we expect that. But Predator is a game you like that. Predator is a game that like when we played it, we were like, "Man, we don't know if we're gonna like this game for a long time," and then we kept playing it over and over. And then
when
even
the gameplay
now,
loop is there. the gameplay loop is there. It works.
Exactly.
It
But I
works.
didn't get like as much as I enjoyed playing this game. I didn't get that feeling.
Right.
Whereas
I agree.
Predator, we played nonstop, and I was like, "This is fun every fucking time I play it," and I don't
Right.
care because it was exciting and terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, well, like I said, I'm sure we'll revisit this once in a while. I don't think this is going to be a game that we'll squeeze in like B&B plays or anything like that. I mean, it depends. More people get PS5s.
I'm too good for that. Sorry.
You are too good for that. But overall, it's fun and it's exciting in short bursts. I just don't know if this is going to be something that, again, without a season pass, without a major ranking system, there's no real incentive to I'm going to make this my main multiplayer game. I'm going to hop into this every day. I'm going to try to go for gold. There's none of that shit right now.
And if you're one
that the game like this needs.
And if you're one of 5 people that's got a PlayStation 5, download it's free. Cool.
Let us know. Yeah, and it's PS Plus. We'll play with you. It's fun for about 2 hours because you can get drunk. It's a fun drunk game. It really is. All right, our final topic, but not the most, not the least important one.
All
This
right.
one's hype as fuck. Let's talk about what's going on in the world of wrestling. Our guys, Jake Something and Rohit Raju, have a huge weekend.
Huge weekend
coming up at No Surrender, Saturday, February 13th on Impact Plus. Tone, this is a big week for Rohit Raju because he's getting a shot at the X Division Championship against TJP.
Once again, and in his corner, he's got Shira back. I always think about that twice. He's got Shira back. He's got a big man in his corner.
Yep.
He's ready to go. He beat TJP last week.
TJP beat him last week, but it wasn't an X Division match.
But it wasn't an actual championship match.
Obviously, he knows. He knows how to beat TJP.
He
But
knows, yeah.
I think, as excited as I am for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that match, a really interesting development going on
Wearing the shirt tonight for it.
with the wrestler formerly known as Cousin Jake Diener.
Yep.
We now know that Jake is now bringing his well-known persona.
Finally.
Jake Something
is
coming to Impact Wrestling. He's no longer going to be known as Cousin Jake. He's going with the personality that we really appreciate and like the most. And if you guys and girls don't know what it's like to experience Jake Something, you have to watch this fucking this is a promo he cut 2 years ago. And last year. 2 years ago.
2019.
2019. This trailer is fucking hype, but this is going to give you an idea of what to expect from Jake Something. This is really hype, you guys. You guys watch this.
My entire life I've been cast aside. I've never been handed anything. Everything that was supposed to break me down, it has built me. So you can keep your blue bloods, your family name, your big house, your warm feelings. As a matter of fact, all of those things that life gave you, they made you weak. They made you frail. They made you dependent. And in every way that you're weak, I'm strong. And in every way that you're strong, I'm stronger. Because all I need is me. You'll say it. All of you will say it. Say my name. What's my name?
It's not even a question.
This guy is finally, look, I liked the Cody Diener, Jake Diener, I liked the Diener cut, boy, that was great. But finally, we are going to see at No Surrender the matchup of Jake Something versus Cody Diener. Dude, now finally, Impact Wrestling is looking at Jake and saying, all right, dude, it's your time.
Yep.
We know what you're capable of. Do it. Tone, sound off, bro.
So, last night on Impact, Violent by Design came out and was waiting for Jake's answer to their
ultimatum or whatever.
Yep, their olive branch, and he said no. And he's like, I stand for,
something.
Yep. He's like, I'm Don't look around for me. Jake something. And, of course, I go, I freaked out. I'm like, I got a meme that's going around. I wish I should have gave it to you so you can put it up here real quick. I got a meme I'm sharing around right now. It's if you guys see the meme where they're in the urinals and somebody walks up and stands right next to somebody and takes a piss, and I just put Jake something's finally an Impact. That was me last night, like I started texting everybody. I'm all over social media. I'm like, fuck, they're finally letting Jake be himself finally in Impact Wrestling. So it's very exciting. They did beat on him for a minute. Eric Young, Cody Deaner, and Cowboy Hat. But then they said, yes, this week in No Surrender, him and Cody are finally going to go matched up. And, honestly, like I always say, like Jake something is a beast. Yep. We've always been excited that Jake has been in Impact Wrestling, but it's never fully been Jake, and now we're fully Jake in Impact Wrestling. So can't wait for that match this weekend. It's very, very fucking hype. And as, somebody who I've known for many, many years and, friend of, I couldn't be happier just because I know what this dude's capable of. He can promo, as you see.
Promo is fucking hot,
but he can wrestle, and he's a fucking beast. He's gargantuan. There's no reason that he can't take on guys like Swan and Moose at the top of the card. So come on, Impact. It's time. It's time.
And I think they're gonna realize that now, dude.
It's got to.
Now that they're getting away from the hillbilly bullshit and going with the fucking badass Jake something. Dude, it's about to change, man.
Yep.
It's about to fucking change, and it's gonna be hype. And it's just, dude, this is who he is.
Yep.
And this is really, really exciting, man.
Yep.
This is really exciting.
Every time you watch Impact, and this is the last thing I'll say about this, is every time you watch Impact on Twitch every Tuesday night and he's on the screen, everybody in that goddamn chat knows Jake something.
Right, exactly.
Because in every other promo,
he's on there as cousin Jake, but
everybody's
saying
Jake something. Man, I wish he's Jake something. They've got to be realized. They got to know. However it got here, finally he's here, and this is what's going to happen. And I can't wait. Cannot wait. So
no, cousin, no, Cuddles. I don't have a problem with hillbillies, but I have a problem with them utilizing him like one when he's capable of so much more. He's capable of so much more, and this is where Impact Wrestling is going to finally find out just how talented this dude is when he's in his wheelhouse, when he's able to be what he is
himself.
It's going to be hot, dude.
Yep.
It's going to be fucking hot. But that's not the only thing going on this weekend.
That is not the only thing, actually.
We got another promo. Let's talk about Pete Raju going up against TJP for the X Division Championship.
For the Flex Division Championship.
Flex Division Champ.
A.K.A. Little Buddy.
Little Buddy. Let's watch this promo.
Let's call it like it is. TJP, when I was X Division Champion, you couldn't beat me. I gave you drive. I gave you focus. I gave you purpose. And you had to turn to your monster, Manic. Well, now I turn to mine, Shira. I've known this man a very long time. You know our history. We go way back, and I trust him to have my back. This Saturday, at No Surrender, there will be no mercy for you. And finally, I will become two-time X Division Champion. And that title, it will come back where it belongs, with me.
Yes,
the other big match this weekend. Our boy, Rohit Raju, going up against TJP. Not Manic, TJP for the Flex Division title. Tone, what are you thinking, dude?
I'm thinking Rohit's going to get that fucking belt back. It's got to go home. But it's probably not, and I'm going to cry all fucking night about it. So I cannot wait. These two have such great in-ring chemistry. They
really do.
They really do. And I'm not going to say it's Rohit versus Jake something levels, because those two have, they know each other well. They know it's like it's art when they're in the ring together. But TJP and Rohit put on great matches. They've done amazing stuff together. This is great to see this, and it could go either way. Honestly, I don't know how to predict this match. I'll be very honestly with you. I don't know how to predict it at all. I'm hoping I know what I want. I want that belt to come home, but TJP is not the kind of guy that's just going to let that fucking slip out of his hands that fast at all.
And like you mentioned, the matches between these two is top tier. It's really great. It's acrobatic. It's intense. It's fast. It's chaotic. and it's really hard. You can't predict it either way. You're just like, you don't know how these are going to end,
Right.
and that's what makes them so exciting. But obviously, you talked about when Rohit and Jake went at it. We were in Bay City just before the pandemic ran wild, and we got to see them two go at it, and it is seriously it was the best match.
It was
of the
the
show.
best match. Not even
Easily.
close.
It wasn't even close. It was the best match of the show. Watching those two guys go at it, and that just speaks to volumes and about how good these two are at what they do. And this match between TJP and Rohit is going to be intense. It's going to be wild. And again, I couldn't be more happy for Rohit and for Jake, because this is going to be a wild weekend for them. This is huge. This is huge.
This is great. And honestly, if you want to, even if you're just a mild wrestling fan, you can check them every Tuesday night for free if you watch Twitch. 8 p.m. Twitch every Tuesday, Impact Wrestling. Check their channel out. You can watch them. This Saturday, these are like their mini pay-per-views. This isn't like their full-blown pay-per-view. It's $10
right
on FightTV.com or Fight.com, whatever it is. That's where I watch it. I log into my little computer and I go, oh, Fight TV. Oh, $10. Let me watch the fucking pay-per-view. Boom. And you're supporting these guys, and they're going to do some great stuff. So, I'm a big fan of the fucking Graps. Have been for a long time, and it's really exciting to see my friends do the things that they're doing at the level that they're doing it at. And goddamn, I'll be there every step of the way as much as I can from them. This is going to be a hot pay-per-view. There's actually a lot of, this is a good fucking card.
Yeah.
For $10 fucking dollars.
There's a lot of good shit going on this weekend for No Surrender. So make sure you check that out Saturday, February 13th. But Tone?
Yes.
That's going to do it for this week's show.
Oh,
that's it, dude.
I probably got a pee already, don't I?
I can smell it. I think you already did. But quick update. Next week, there will not be a show on Wednesday night. Not a live B&B show. I'm going to see if I can get in for a B&B Plays. Might do some Among Us. We'll see what's going on in the Discord. Going to get a feel, see what people want to play. But there will be content for you from you and yours. Or yours.
That's right.
And me. Wednesday or on Friday night is when Willis Wonderland drops on on-demand services. Tony and I are going to watch that Friday night. And then we're going to kick out a video of an instant reaction to Willis Wonderland. We're going to watch that and kick that out. And possibly, maybe this weekend as well, a WandaVision video as well. So we could have some content come out. We won't have a proper B&B next week, but we will have some content up on our YouTube channel.
Right.
So make sure you're over there on YouTube, Banter and Babble. Make sure you're following there, because that's where you can find our instant reaction to Willis Wonderland, as well as WandaVision. If we can get that in as well. So we'll have stuff up for sure for B&B, but next Wednesday there will not be a B&B proper. Make sure you're following the socials. Make sure you're in the Discord. We'll talk about what we'll be doing on Wednesday night, or maybe a different night that week, depending on what the schedules are looking like.
Yes. And honestly, just, like you said, keep on the socials and all that stuff. If you're in the Discord, if you're not, join the Discord.
You should probably join the Discord.
We're going to give you a link real quick here to join that Discord. Come hang out with us day in, night, day out as well too. A lot of crazy people in there, as you see from the chat. We're all out of control, and it's definitely very deviant in there. This weekend I was originally planning on streaming something on Saturday maybe, but with this No Surrender, I'm going to be watching the pay-per-view, so probably not. But who knows, maybe after the pay-per-view I'll have a few in me, and maybe I'll just go live and just chit-chat with everybody and talk about the pay-per-view, or just drink late and King Cuddles can come keep me company and we'll goof off a little bit.
Cuddles is good at that.
There is potential tomorrow evening for a short stream. I'm going to try and squeeze out. Last week I couldn't because of everything else going on, but I might try to squeeze one out tomorrow mid-evening as well too. So watch for that. Friday night we'll be watching movies, so no stream
busy,
Friday night.
So but I'll be back Monday night with more God of War.
So you started God of War. Amazing to watch you play God of War. Got me excited because that's one of the few games that I don't replay games, everybody, that I really want to kind of replay. Watching you play it is
4K
helping.
60.
Yeah, beautiful game. So, thank you all for those subs tonight, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you for, I don't know who, do we ever find out?
Half-ass beer review.
Dropped all those. Thank you to our good friend Half-Ass Beer Review. Me and Half-Ass Beer Review and maybe a third person in the next couple weeks have some stuff coming up that we're going to get together on as well too. So watch for some of that. Check out Half-Ass Beer Review on YouTube, please. Great content.
Awesome content.
Microbrews all over the country he's talking about and reviewing. Fantastic content. We love him. We appreciate all of everybody's support. Don't forget, if you've got time, whether you see us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like, subscribe, share. If you don't mind, please, we appreciate that. Word of mouth is huge for us. If you know somebody out there that might enjoy our content, even remotely, even if it's on Spotify or YouTube after we're live, let them know. Have them come check us out and, get involved.
Especially those thumbs up. If you like the, and I would never sit there and say just thumbs it up if you like. If you didn't like the episode, that's totally fine. Make sure you let us know why you didn't like it. But, give it a thumbs up. If you're on iTunes, just go over and hit a 5-star review. If you want to write a nice review out, you can totally do that. But if not, at least hit that 5-star review. Get those reviews out. That helps us get us exposure. That helps us move us to the top of the categories that the podcast is listed. So that really helps us out. But, that's going to do it for tonight. Again, look for some content this weekend up on the YouTube channel. We'll have Willy's Wonderland and possibly a WandaVision review as well to make up for no show next week. And then we'll be back the following week, which is, I believe, the 24th. And I don't know what we'll be talking about then. Probably WandaVision as well as whatever else we watch. So that is going to do it. Bella Ramsey cast as Ellie in The Last of Us. Who's Bella Ramsey?
I don't know, but we're going to look at that.
We're going to look that up and talk about it for sure. But thank you so much, everyone that tuned in tonight. Thank you, Have Ass Beer Review, for those subscriptions.
Appreciate you,
really
brother.
Appreciate the support. It means a lot to us. Again, the chat was popping. Congratulations to Booty for coming out with for the win. Thanks to Prime not claiming it. But
is that real, Brian?
Just announced Pedro Pascal as Joel for the. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck, are you serious?
Bella Ramsey cast as Ellie in The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal. Oh my! The Mandalorian.
Dude.
Hang on, I'm looking it up right now.
He kind of looks like Joel, by the way.
Oh, he could pull off Joe. He could easily pull off Joe.
Woo! Hot development right at the end, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. Was a child ruler girl from Game of...
Oh, it's Leanne
Mormont.
Oh my! What?
Okay.
Dude, Leanne Mormont was a fucking awesome character. She was a badass. She was the little girl that was always talking.
She's a couple years older now?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Dude, she is amazing. She will be an awesome Ellie. She will be an awesome Ellie, dude.
All right. That's awesome.
Whoa!
That's pretty wild. Good stuff, guys. Thank you for letting us know.
That's huge. Dude, she is so good. And then Pedro Pascal is... Looking for the Pedro Pascal news. I don't see that just yet. But I see the Bella Ramsey.
Ew, we like the name Bella.
Oh, wait. The Mandalorian star is set to headline The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal is joining Bell. Dude, what a fucking cast. What a cast. Oh, man.
Yeah. There you go. That's funny, bro.
Woo! That's going to be hot.
Let's go.
That's going to be hot.
Go.
We'll talk about that for sure next episode. Thank you so much for watching. From Fanboytone.
This guy.
I'm the Dude79. See you in 2 weeks, but make sure you check out YouTube. We'll be up there this weekend. Willy's Wonderland, Nick Cage. Have a good night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. And just an FYI, this music right here, Music Therapy 2, will be available this Sunday. On all those outlets right there. Play that music.
Love that music.
Love your lady.
Love her.
To this music. Enjoy Music Therapy 2. Have a good night, everybody.